right. You don't have to do it. But are you going to do the intro to the podcast this time?
You want me to?
Yeah, do it. Your camera's right there too. So when you look at it, look it dead in the eyes when you do it.
How does it sound right now? Is this
Sure. Hold on, let me check the
You
mic.
want to headphone me?
Here we go. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode.
Oh, I don't know. 11.
I don't.
Something.
Tough luck. Tattoo podcast.
Hey there. Everyone.
I am Bobby Karate, and join me once again with Niche C Tattooer as always.
I don't have sunglasses on.
Cody
And then we're
Martin,
also
the great Mr. Cody Martin.
and we're also joined here by Cody Martin. Oh man. So
That sucked.
yeah, that was an okay intro. Yeah, we'll cut it out. We'll probably keep it in the end because I don't do a whole lot of editing. But yeah, in all seriousness, this is Bobby Karate and my friend Nicholas, aka Niche C Tattooer, and we are joined tonight for the Tough Luck Tattoo podcast by my friend Cody Martin here, who I keep calling everybody my friend, but I've actually only met them a handful of times.
We're friends.
Yeah, we're friends.
I told my wife we were friends.
Oh, that's cool. Then we're good.
That's all that matters, really.
That's all.
I don't
we
want her
really
to listen to
needed.
this podcast and be like, he's not friends with this guy.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about an array of things, including or not including flat Earth theory, and tattoos maybe.
And or
We
Reba
could open up
McEntire.
with birds aren't real.
I don't want to. No, I want to leave that. I'm going to use that as the
It should
hook.
happen
That's going to be the
organically.
hook in the.
Yeah.
So I've actually learned in the process of making a podcast that like it's like making music where
Yeah.
like there's a bridge
Yeah.
in making a podcast, but the bridge is like 30 or 40 minutes in. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit different than making a song. We are not Madonna by any means, but we are trying our damnedest. Well, anyway, before we go too far, everyone, our schedule got fucked. Steve didn't end up on the podcast.
We partied way too fucking hard.
Yeah, we had a really
so
good time.
That's partly my fault for sure, and I will own up
I don't
to
think
that.
it's your fault, man. I think we all had a blast.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just trying to make sure that they were having a good
Yeah,
time, so
yeah.
we got a little carried
Well,
away.
Steve,
for sure.
Crash, anybody else that was here on the trip, thank you so much for hanging out with us. You guys are
Seriously,
fucking
yeah.
rigous. We love you.
And happy birthday, Steve.
happy
He was
birthday,
here for his
Steven.
birthday and
Yeah, and we got to hang out for a little
his
bit.
21st birthday.
But yeah. So this is going to be, I imagine, the second to last episode of the season because we didn't get to do another episode last
We're gonna
week.
end with Mark.
We're going to end with Mark.
That's so fucking cool
our
for
final
Giants.
episode will be Mark Stewart. That will be the following week from the week that you were listening to this. So without further ado, Cody, what's up, man? Thank you thank you
dude?
for coming down here and hanging out with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's cool to see the kind of tattooers you guys have had on the show and then be interested in having me on here. That was pretty wild.
Yeah, it's super rad.
For sure.
Yeah, we've been trying to keep people like entertained and interested in terms of like fun people to listen to on the podcast.
Sure.
And then we're learning like being a tattooer doesn't always negate being like a fun person to listen to talk.
For sure.
Which like whatever, dude. I don't think that I'm the funnest person to listen to
Yeah.
talk, but
Man,
it's cool. It's just super cool.
we had a paint night at our shop a while back, and Adam Dunning was there.
Oh,
and
dude, he's the best.
Adam rules,
He's
and
cool.
he's super cool. But at a certain point, Adam looks over at me at the table, and he goes, "You know what, man? You seem like you're into some rabbit hole kind of shit. What are you into?" And I was like,
Here we go.
fuck, man, I'm gonna do exactly what I know I'm gonna do. And I was just like, just be honest with this dude. And I was just like, I like synthesizers, and I like to like watch this video of this guy watch trains on Instagram. And he's like, and I could see like the regret like well up in his eyes whenever I responded.
Yeah.
And Sean Kerwin was there too, and he's painting, and he just goes, Jesus.
Here
And
we
I was
go.
like, and I'm like, oh,
Oh,
man,
fuck.
I'm just gonna go back to painting, dude.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna just put my head down. My favorite was the way that Nick explained Adam, like when we were hanging out with Skylar on his episode. He's like, "Yeah, Adam was sat down. He's like, so how do you guys feel about Glocks?" That's kind of
Like the way you move, sir.
Yeah, dude, Adam's rad. We have
Yeah.
this game blunt like sign that you did outside of the gas station, just like waiting in the back to be hung up. Then Adam disappears, and he's just like, "This is the most Tampa shit I've ever seen, bro." Like,
Yeah. He seems like the type to do that. I just did that at Lucky's where I was
Yeah.
like just digging through boxes the other day. Skylar
Yeah.
and I went up there yesterday, and we're just like digging through shit. We found like a couple bottles of pigment. I've never heard of the company before.
Yeah.
And we like went to the front desk girls, and they were like, But they were like, we don't know what it is. And then Jimmy comes out of the corner and he's like, yeah, fuck it. You guys can have it. They just take it.
Jimmy's rad, dude.
Just digging through shit.
Super.
I like to go to Lucky's whenever Jimmy's really bored, because like he'll come
It's
out of
the
like
best.
the corner, he'll be like, "You guys want to see some cool shit?"
You guys want to see some- I got some Mike Wilson machines
Let's
back
pump
here.
this up a little
Yeah,
bit.
right? Oh man. So you've been luckily we talked a little bit before the podcast. So you've been a Tampa native your whole life?
Whole life, born and raised, never
Went
left.
to high school out there.
Went to high school out there.
How much acne did you have in high school?
Acne? I was covered in acne,
Covered.
dude. It was
Head to
it was
toe.
pretty terrible. Yeah, teenage years were not good to me.
Well, you look better now.
I hope so.
For the people at home,
I hope so.
they can see it. There it
It's
is.
all right. To a degree.
So you've always tattooed in Tampa then, essentially.
Yeah, I've only tattooed in
You had a little
Tampa.
bit of fuzz right there. Hold on.
Thank you.
You're cool, man.
Yeah, I started my first real apprenticeship in St. Pete.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've been pretty like local to the
To me,
area.
like St. Pete is Tampa.
It's
anyway.
the same
I'm
thing,
so
dude.
bad
Yeah,
about
there's
that.
a bridge there.
It's just a
the
different
same
bridge,
place,
dude. Like, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah,
I'm really bad about telling people I'm going to Tampa when I'm going to St. Pete. They're
Yeah.
like, you're not even in Tampa.
it's
Like,
almost
oh,
the same
Tampa,
thing.
like, I fucking said St. Pete. you
Yeah,
idiot.
Yeah,
Right.
they're just like, what's St.
Like,
Pete? You're just like, it's
okay.
Tampa, and they're just like, oh, I know where that
It's
is.
the same shit, just
You
different
even fucking
island.
listen
Yeah,
to
I
me?
grew up in Temple Terrace, and nobody,
sick.
Yeah, they're just like, nobody ever reacts that way when I
No.
say that. They're just like, what is Temple Terrace? And I'm like, it's Tampa, and they're like, oh, I know where that is.
Why didn't
I
you say
delivered
that?
pizza in Temple Terrace for a couple of years.
Did you really?
Yeah. I worked on 56th Street, right by Busch Gardens.
Which pizza shop?
Pizza Hut.
Pizza.
Shouts out
word.
Pizza
I worked
Hut.
at Pizza de Carlo on 56th
Okay.
Street as
Yeah,
well.
we were right next to 5-Star Pizza. Right
Nice.
there. Yeah.
Nice.
That shop's still there.
Pizza
Dude, that
Day.
was the raddest shit ever though. I was
Yeah.
so broke.
Yeah.
And they would just let me, dude. That I would just fucking make myself like I didn't know at the time that it was stealing.
Yeah.
Like I was like
dead
like,
ass
it
until they
never-
fire you, right?
yeah. It never registered
Oh,
to me
boy.
that I was stealing food.
Yeah.
Like, that accounted to money. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And then I actually got fired because I got rear-ended, which was crazy.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, somebody hit me, and I guess you're supposed to have some kind of special insurance when you're driving fucking for Pizza Hut. So they just fired me and didn't have to deal with
Damn,
the
that sucks.
ramifications. Yeah, but whatever. Like fuck it.
Yeah, I was
It
like
fun.
making pizzas and shit and like eating the ingredients as I was making the pizzas.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I was like 17. you
Yeah,
Why
know,
wouldn't
like,
fuck
you?
it.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I think I was
But-
like 22 when I was doing it. I did pizza late. Yo, you know what's crazy though is how many, it's like tattooing though. When you start fucking making pizza or being a pizza delivery driver, some people it's like for life.
Yeah.
Like some cats are just
Yeah.
like, they're fucking in
Which
it.
scares the shit out of me,
Yeah,
bro.
dude.
I think about all the jobs that I've had. I've always tried at least pretty decently hard. At
Yeah,
it. You know, like
course.
even
Yeah,
like
within reason.
with the exclusion of that pizza place. Like I was I was like 17 years old, and I didn't really give a fuck about it. But I started working at a music store shortly after that. Actually, I was trying to apprentice around the same time as that. And it didn't work out for me at the time. I started trying to tattoo whenever I was around 16. That's whenever I started getting tattooed. And I knew I wanted to be a tattooer. And the shops that I was hanging out with, like, wasn't really working out for me. So I was like, well, I got to get money to get tattooed.
You got to do it.
I got to get money to get tattooed. So I worked at, like, an oil lube. I did that.
Sure,
and
dude,
then
fuck yeah.
I would get, like, a $200 paycheck. And I'd be like, that's a $200 banger. Let's fucking
Fuck
go.
yeah, dude.
Throw it right here in the
Yeah.
middle of
Yeah.
this whole leg,
Well, yeah.
tilted.
Yeah, fucking throw it in sideways so I get so
Yeah, right.
somebody later in life
Do
has
it
to work
backwards.
harder.
Do every tattoo on my legs facing the wrong way.
Yeah,
you know?
fuck it, dude.
But yeah, I
Oh,
was
man.
like getting tattooed in like Ybor City and stuff like that, and I had a job.
Was it like
strictly
a
so I
late
could-
night Ybor City trip, or was it like you would get tattooed during the day?
No, it was always late night stuff. I
Okay.
wasn't even really partying back then either. I've never been really a partier, but
Yeah.
I was going to Ybor and I was getting tattooed, and they weren't great tattoos. I was trying to tattoo. I
Yeah.
knew the right way to get into tattooing was to get tattooed, and make friends with people or whatever.
Yeah,
But all I knew is that I liked tattoos. I didn't know what a good tattoo looked like.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I didn't know who was a bad tattooer versus a good tattooer, so I just wanted to get tattooed.
dude. I
and-
think I talked about that on one of our episodes where like when
sure.
I first started getting tattooed, I didn't know that like everybody couldn't do everything.
everybody's not exactly the same.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Yeah, I
everybody
thought-
doesn't tattoo
I-
exactly
Like, what do you
the
mean?
same.
You're a tattooer. Just do it.
Yeah,
This
you're a
is what you
tattooer,
do.
just
Well,
do it.
well, I related it to like being a master mechanic,
Yeah.
because that was my mind, because that's what I was doing at the time. And it's like, so not everybody's at the same bar. It's like, no,
Yeah.
dude. And somebody could just call themselves a tattooer and fucking start
For sure.
tattooing.
Yeah.
Like,
For sure.
but I didn't know any better.
Yeah, we were talking about that before we started the podcast. Like,
Yeah.
I started getting tattooed when I was like 16. By the time I was 20, I was pretty filled up.
Yeah.
My
Right.
whole chest piece,
Yeah.
stomach was done. One arm was mostly done. I had like scattered tattoos all around my legs and stuff, and they were all like dog
Trash.
shit.
Oh yeah.
Dog shit, dude. Like, and then I didn't get my first good tattoo until I was about 23 years old. Mason Shimano gave me my first. That was my first introduction to good tattoos.
Somebody who
I
actually-
got tattooed by Mason Shimano, and I was just like, "You can do this.
This is possible.
This is
Love
what
that.
this is. You can make a tattoo look like this. That's fucking crazy."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had that aha moment. I had it like around year 2, so I was like 26.
Mhm.
Like it took me a fucking long time to
Yeah.
figure out what a good tattoo looked like. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Even when I first started tattooing, like I didn't know any better. You know?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like most people's introductions to tattooing, like, if you're into subcultures like that, then you usually find it through like motorcycles, skateboarding,
Yep.
music, something like that.
Yep.
And all you see on these people is that they have tattoos,
Yep.
Mhm.
and you're like, sick. I want
Yeah.
tattoos.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
you know, and
for
then
sure.
some people are a little smarter, and they're just like, well, what does a good tattoo look like? I was not that smart.
Yeah, I didn't
And
care.
I feel like most tattooers weren't that smart. That's why every time you get tattooed by somebody who's worth,
Worth a shit,
worth
yeah.
a shit, they always have like a bunch of shitty tattoos in between the cool ones, and
Yep.
you know,
They got a handful of fucking bad ones, right? Or a handful of good ones around all the bad
around all
ones.
the bad
Yeah,
ones,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you know, because they were just like so interested in tattooing. They're just like, I get tattooed,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, it was like that. That was just the fucking. I was
Yeah.
spearheading right towards. I want to look like fucking all the guys on the Baker team. Like that was it.
Yeah.
Like, that was it.
yeah,
for me.
yeah, dude. I remember the day that like tattooing took my life over. Like I was probably 11 years old. I was at Warped Tour, and with my family, and at the time I was listening to bands like Good Charlotte and Sum 41 and
Sure.
stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know,
That
like
was the shit.
that
That
was
was the
like
shit at the
punk,
time.
That was punk
Yeah.
for me. And then
Yeah.
I saw AFI at an autograph signing booth, and I had no idea who they were. I was just 11 years old, and I wanted an autograph.
Yeah, you're like I don't care.
So
yeah.
so I met those dudes, and like Davey Habit like had these super cool, like really bright, colorful tattoos all over his arms or whatever.
Yeah.
Whole band was tattooed, and I was like, this is so fucking cool. And
Sick.
Mhm.
I left Warped Tour that day, and I got like heavy into it. And to this day, AFI is like one of my favorite bands. And that was like the turning point for everything for me. Like I was already like into skateboarding or whatever.
Mhm.
Got heavy into skateboarding. Got heavy into this band, and they showed me tattoos. I got like super intrigued in tattooing, and that was a wrap for me. Like I can
Sure.
remember the moment that it happened. It
That's
was
so
then,
rad
yeah.
because I don't even like I remember glimpses of it, but I think it was because I was exposed to like biker tats my
Yeah.
whole life
Right,
Yeah.
right.
that it wasn't really like
I wasn't. No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Yeah, for me it was just like I always saw like and they were nothing like never anything extravagant. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I never saw like a work of art
Yeah.
on somebody. It was always just like a JD Crow piece or
Yeah.
like a skull and crossbones or
Mhm.
whatever. You know what I mean? Or a little
Small
lightning bolt.
collection,
Yeah.
yeah.
bullshit. Like not
Like
and-
super fluent full sleeves and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Yeah.
I think it's so rad that like by today's standards, like there are people that like collect tattoos.
Yeah.
I think that's like the
that is
coolest.
the coolest. I
like-
totally agree.
It's
I'm always
mind-blowing.
I'm impressed whenever people who aren't tattooers know the difference in good tattoos, and they go out of their way to get good
Absolutely.
tattoos.
I
I'm just
agree.
like, how do you even know that this person is an extravagant tattooer?
Yeah.
Because I just found out this
Yeah.
person's
Yeah,
an
right.
extravagant tattooer.
I've
You
been
know,
around
you're just
this
a
shit.
dude. You're just a dude on Instagram, and I'm like the tattooer, and I just
Yeah.
found out about this cat, and you're like,
Right.
yeah, I got tats from this guy.
You know what's
Right.
crazy too about the internet, like that's been kind of getting to me lately, is that like there could be somebody just crushing it, and I have no idea that they exist, and then one day I find out, and then I have to go through like I have to go through the rabbit hole of their page.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Oh,
there's
yeah.
so many
Far down as you can see.
dude. Like so many times people will, like send me shit, and I'm like, holy fuck! Like this
Yeah.
has been going on in tandem with me the whole time.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck is going
Crazy.
on?
Yeah.
Oh
for sure.
man, I
It's
just
pretty wild.
I fucking love that, and that's where like Nick and I differ is where like that's why I love the internet so much because it's like if I want reference or I want to even just see somebody crushing it to get inspired by like a color palette or even just a tattoo, like it's so cool to just be able to fucking pop open my stupid phone and
Yeah.
just look at it, you know?
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
I like that it's there.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I mean, I will definitely say that. It's a good and bad, and I think everything just needs a balance to it.
Mhm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Specifically, and but it's definitely hyped up. I mean, everything and anything in the world. I mean, it's bringing
it's elevated tattooing to an
100%.
unbelievable level. Like before internet was involved in tattooing, you didn't even know that the dude that worked a few miles down the street from you was doing tattoos.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
This, you know,
absolutely.
And then it's so easily like nowadays, you know, everybody within a 50-mile, at least a 50-mile radius, and then you're following people all over the world.
And what's even cooler is you could just like fucking hit like, hey, I'm going to like I could have easily like I kind of am bummed out that I didn't do it on Saturday when I got done with Kerwin, but like I could have easily been like, yo, bro. I literally drove past your shop to get to the highway. You guys had been closed by then. You know what I mean? But I could have just been like, hey, we're going to grab food over here. Like, that's the beauty of it. You know what I mean? Like, without having your phone number, only having your Instagram, I could have been like, yo, dude, you fucking busy? Come over and hang out. You know?
Yeah, it's a big up and down. Mia just talked about how, you know, like taking breaks off the internet and like not posting your tattoos and stuff like that. And there's definitely a balance there. I haven't found it. You know, I haven't found it.
Right, so I just avoid it a little bit.
I'm literally in it, like I'm like in it 100%, or I'm fucking out of it 100%
entirely.
And that being said, though, I don't take pictures of everything I do. Me specifically, I'm a huge fan of healed. I want like the real test, like at minimum 3 months healed. Like
I told our apprentice the other day because I had tattooed a huge tattoo on him. And he was just like, this looks so cool, man. Thank you for it. And I was just like, not good until it's healed. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we'll see it. And I know that because I had so many, like, early in my career. It's been like 3 years, dude.
Yeah.
Whatever. Just a couple of years ago, like, dude, I remember doing some tattoos that I was stoked about. And then, like, I would see the client again. And, like, the tattoo was haggard. And I was just like, fuck, man. So I got an Instagram photo, which is worth what?
It's worth nothing.
It's worth nothing because that person has this haggard ass tat now.
Funny story. I had this client the other day come back in, and it was when I tried out that machine. So we'll step back to last week's episode or last 2 weeks episode. Is I let Nick try this like pen machine, and like I had gone on this kick because I saw Chaz using it, and I was like, I need to try it, and I did this little rose tattoo on this gal. I drew it on. Like I'm competent enough to do a rose tattoo. Like let's be real, I know how to apply it, and like this tattoo looked fucking 10 years old when it came back, and like I either overworked her or she completely didn't take care of it. And obviously it's my obligation to fix it, and I touched the whole thing up. It looks great now, you know, using my regular machines that I use every day. But that's kind of the thing that, like, seeing that, I never would have known that maybe there's like 5 or 6 other tattoos that I use that machine on that are looking like that. You know, and like sometimes it's a mystery if something feels great or not, you know, especially if you're trying out different things.
But you also don't know exactly what someone's going to do the second that they walk out of the shop.
I mean, she could have went to a lake party for a whole weekend after I did it.
You have 8 cats and 6 dogs, and they let them sleep in their bed, you know.
But I still feel like there's
pretty easily identifiable to tell, like, just like, yo, this is my fault.
Yes. I looked at it and I was like, this was my fault. That's how I felt.
Oh, I remember that spot.
And it's always with those style rotaries that's like the kryptonite for me. Like, I'm not at all anti-pen or anything like that because people make really great tattoos using them. Like Gigi, Gary Diehart, like uses only a pen. His tattoos are incredible. I never got the hang of it. I use it sometimes, like for mostly black and gray, because whenever I'm like trying to do like colors off of it and stuff, and I'm just like, dude, I'm chewing this shit up right now.
Yeah, dude.
You know,
I think that's what it is. I just overworked her.
It's just like doesn't work out for me in particular. I know plenty of people that do great tattoos with them, but I mean, I've become quite fond of the shag built machine.
You're on the shag belts now. You still got a steel driver laying around?
there, yeah.
No.
You got rid of it?
No, I sold it to Chaz.
Oh, he sold it to somebody else.
I really did love that machine, though. I felt I wish I still had it. But
bro, I bought the fucking upgraded fucking
with the new little armature bar thing. Is it good?
I fucking pushed. I
bro,
pulled
don't
14.
tell me that,
bro, I pulled 14s with it the other day. Fucking loose 14s with it. It was fucking righteous.
That machine was great, and I regretted getting rid of it.
Yeah.
And then recently, Shag is doing like a promotion on his machines. I was just like,
$100 off.
I
saw that shit, dude. I saw that and I was like, maybe I'll buy another one. Dude, every time I've gotten a shag built machine, I'm such a piece of shit. Like, I'll trade like a Burt Crack machine for a shag built, and then I'll like trade the shag built for like a fucking Dan Cuban. And I'm like, yes, did I come up here? I made
just happened a month ago.
Yeah, it literally just happened. But like, dude, like I'll come up. Like I made, like, this is a better trade, right? Like I did good.
Yeah.
But like, I'll be tattooing with the new machine, and it's always a liner. Like
Yeah.
I always like I have a rock solid shader. I trade it for. Or I have a rock solid liner. I trade it for a shader, and then I trade it back for a liner. And all the machines in my drawer, I have 2 shaders, fucking 10 liners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
me too.
It's the opposite for me. I had
Really?
I had Toby make me a couple liners, and I was like,
I love Toby.
This is great. These
Yeah,
do-
you fucking found the ones. Like,
These
that's
do
it.
the lines.
Yeah,
Moving
yeah.
on. And then as far as shaders go, I have a bulldog that Jordan Rubin built me. Whenever I first
gave it JR.
I first started tattooing. It was the first machine I ever bought. Shout out to Jordan Rubin. I've never turned a screw on that machine. I use it almost every day.
Yep.
Every day. Never had to do
I
anything to it.
I had one, and I felt bad because I bought a set when I met you, actually, at the Tampa convention. I bought a set. I think they're bulldogs. And I know they're bulldogs. I don't know why I said it like that. But I bought a set, and the fucking solder on the front binding post just fucking popped off. And my wires
they're
were
not
exposed.
supposed to do that.
Yeah, and so I just resoldered it. But I messaged him like before I did it. We were just talking about this the other day, like, not fucking with other people's machines.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, dude, I really appreciate you. Those machines rock and roll, but I resoldered some shit. And he's like, dude, just send it to me. I'm like, you're in
Piece of
Florida.
shit.
I'm in California. Like, I'm not doing that, dude. Like, it's cool. Like, I did an okay job. We'll move past it.
Yeah.
But, dude, my liner from him is rock, dude.
Yeah.
Nick
Oh,
has
yeah,
a liner
yeah,
from
yeah.
him that could
I actually
fucking tattoo
just
concrete.
gave that to Steve, man. He's
Oh,
a big
Steve?
fan of the
No shit.
Jensens. It was this beautiful, like, chromey polished Jensen, and I was at the convention. She was like holding a clipcord. I was just like listening to it. I was just looking at it. So I hooked it up. Like ran it for like 2.5 seconds. I was like, yeah, how much?
Yeah, I'll take it.
this,
I'll
like,
take it.
I'm
right
sure it's
fucking now.
fine.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Alex was working the booth, and it was my first
Yeah.
time meeting him. And I was like, "What's up, dude? I'm trying to buy a set. Message your boy, like hook it up, you know." And
Yeah.
he's like, "Dude, the price already is the hookup price. Like,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
buy it,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
for how it is."
I wasn't even willing to try and haggle.
Yeah,
man.
no, I
Like,
didn't haggle a
good.
second.
Jordan
that.
had just started building machines around that time, and he was giving them out.
That
for
was when he
solid.
first started?
I bought a set for $500, which is $250 a
shit.
machine.
Super
Like
fair.
I think that's
Yeah.
what he did mine for.
$250 a machine, dude. Like
This
I
is
know
what,
that
just a
used to
couple
be
years ago?
standard
Yeah,
a
that
while
was- I
ago,
think it was
but
like
it's
3
not
years
standard
ago, 2
anymore.
years
No,
ago?
it's not.
Yeah, it was about 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
2-3 years ago.
Yeah, nowadays it's just like you're paying at least $400 a machine, which
Sure.
you know, like, I mean, everything's gone up, and especially whenever you get a nice machine like from Toby or whatever, that's totally reasonable. But I remember at the
Absolutely.
time, like $250 machine, I was just like,
Bro,
bro, let me get a
250
couple of
doesn't
them, you
break-
know?
Dude,
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
how much it costs to build a tattoo machine, and
But I know how
is
much
making
time
you-
it takes.
Yeah,
Bro.
Well, the cost of material is not high, right? It's like tattooing. Like our needles aren't expensive.
Yeah.
Our ink isn't. It's marginally expensive, but you know,
Yeah.
like you're paying for the craft. You're paying for the time that somebody puts into
Sure.
it. So like,
Yeah.
for him to do that, like I've spent a fucking hour and a half just filing some shit on a side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's not even
Yeah, yeah.
fucking braced
I'm just
together
dicking
yet.
around
I'm
the
just-
shop, walking around,
Yeah.
doing whatever, and I'm just sanding the shit. Running
Yeah.
sandpaper
Yeah, it's
on
like
it,
whenever you're trying to like do a different style of tattoo, and you're just like, I don't really know what I'm doing yet, so I'm gonna try to like hook them up. I'm gonna hook
Yeah.
some people up.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
trying to-
yeah.
I'm trying
It's just
to do,
wild that he
If this
like
dude digs it, he's gonna blast
Yeah,
it.
he
Like,
came
you
out the
know?
rip rock solid. That's awesome. And especially
dude.
being around, like, you know, Jimmy's fucking making super solid machines. Toby's making super solid machines. Like,
Yeah.
Toby's selling Troy's machines. Like, they're super fucking good, you know? Like, being in that, like, because I hold them all to the same, in my opinion, the same standard, you know?
Toby
Sure.
does such cool stuff though. Like I check
I
his
love my
his
machines from
website
Toby,
like
yeah.
every other week
Toby's
or so, and
machines
he's
are
always
too
got
pretty
something
for
new
me.
and so,
They're
yeah.
too, they're too
Bro.
pretty.
So he makes some rattier-ish
Yeah.
type stuff.
my
you know,
machines
sometimes.
may be all gold, but
Yeah, right. Yeah, dude, yeah. Yeah.
I
they
love
got
that
little
shit,
dice
man.
on them, little
Yeah,
leather
dude.
washers. You know, it's all
Yeah, dude.
They're, whatever.
They're sweet. I mean, I dig it. I have a lot of respect for it. I just
Yeah.
I like the way the Paul Rogers fucking hand filed fucking shit. You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's
like,
why I have some Jimmy machines
oh, yeah,
too.
dude, that's
you know,
why.
I mean,
That's why I like Jimmy stuff.
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Okay,
have
Game of
machines
Birds.
from a handful of people, and I just try to get the same way that you would get a tattoo from somebody. Just like, is this the
Yeah,
type
I
of
want the
machine
shit
that
that
you
you
like
wanna
to buy?
make.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
want to. You know, I don't want if I'm gonna get a machine from Jimmy, I'm not gonna have him put gold on it or whatever.
No.
Like,
Right.
Jimmy's
no.
gonna give me a raw machine
Yep.
that'll chip concrete off the floor,
Yeah. Fuck yeah, it will.
and
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
I want from Jimmy.
And if anything
don't
fucking
care what it
happens, you
looks
can just
like.
walk
Do
in.
it.
Yeah.
Now that he moved the fucking his office there, just fucking throw it at him. Be like,
Yeah.
fix this, dog.
Yeah.
I'll throw you $100. Or
Yeah,
whatever,
both of those
$50.
guys are like real close by to me. So if I ever really need
Yes.
anything, it's just hopping on a bridge, and
Yeah.
it's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
And
That's super rad.
yeah, so I have just a set of line. I mean, I have more than just a set of liners from Toby, but I have, you know, I really just use the same 2 liners every day. And then I have just a boatload of shaders because I'm just still trying to figure that out. I've gotten really, I really like using the shag built there's just something about
You're using
like
the D20 or the one?
I'm using the D20, but I think I want the one. I had just had Chris I'm gonna say his name fucking wrong. I've been calling him Chris Astrolago, but I went to dinner with him. Are you Italian and know that I'm saying it wrong?
I am Italian. I don't know what you're saying.
So I just did a guest spot over at Captured Tattoo, and Chris works there, and he did my feet for me. And his wife said Chris Astrolago, and I was just like, who the fuck is Chris Astrolago? It's apparently him. But he was using the one, and he was just like, I love it. Everybody I've ever talked to that uses the one, they're just like, this is the machine, this is the machine, this is the machine. I've been using the D20 because I got it set.
Everybody said the same thing about the D20
D20 ribs,
for years. Yeah,
D20 ribs, and I'm sure the one is, it's
cool,
it's similar.
It's got to be. Yeah, naturally.
There's something about like whenever I use rotary machines, and even the shad built, but less of the shad built, there's something lost in the feeling for me.
Yo, that's why when you get the one, when you order the one, make it so it makes noise. You message them.
I like the audible.
I want to hear.
I want to hear the machine. I want to feel the machine. I want the skin to push back in my hand. I don't want to like.
Well, that's why I like the new steel driver, because you can like it has like how the what's the machine, the one that we both had back in the day, the fucking Bazaar, the fucking it's in my fucking.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Is it a rotary?
Yeah, it's a rotary.
Is it the Neotat?
No. This one.
That was
one
like
of the Stigmas.
The Stigma one.
I had the nicer Stigma.
He had the nicer one, but like it
like
has like
the flat
give,
barrel.
the give here.
That's a science experiment.
This is a fucking space product.
That looks like the capo on the guitar.
It really does.
Yeah, I never had that either, by the
but
way.
it has like the fucking.
I never had that.
It has the give on it.
Okay.
That's how the new fucking steel driver has.
That's why I wanted the steel driver, because I like that
the
feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, and you get the audible sound of the impact like you do with a Dan Cuban machine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's just something about those. I like the Cuban machines. Yeah, they're pretty nice. Sometimes I feel like they're
too aggressive for me.
They're a little aggressive, yeah. But no
14,
sweat. I use them on knees and stomachs mostly.
No. My very first one, it was like MC14, and it was for kids, man. You know what I mean? They're
great machines. I can't say nothing about that.
Yeah, dude.
I beat it to death.
I fucking just fixed my my mini cranker.
Oh damn, got him.
Oh no, it's an ambulance. Sorry. What is it? The MC13. That's the one that you had. 14, whatever the fuck. They're both the same shit. Mm-hmm. But I fixed mine and I used it the other day and it was fucking awesome. It's a fucking 11-year-old rotary machine. Yeah. It's so sick.
Yeah, dude makes great machines for sure. Yeah. There's just definitely something that's in a coil machine that makes me feel like I'm doing a tattoo, and that's what I'm looking for.
It's a tool.
I think it's hard for me to get into a tattoo and really like give it everything that I want to give it if I don't feel that.
Absolutely.
Of course, there's a translation into the skin through the machine into your hand, and I can definitely feel it, and it's hard to describe, but I think most people know what that feels like.
I had a big conversation with I feel like I should say Margot tattooer at Electrical Shannon. Yeah. I don't know if I should say her, but I don't know, whatever. If she changed her name to Margot or she's still Shannon, I don't know, we'll figure it out. But I had a big conversation with her about like audible, like hearing what I'm doing and knowing that I can relate that feeling in my hand to the sound in my ear while I'm working, you know?
I agree.
And like I feel like you can't really get that out of a pen machine unless they figure out a way to make impact with them, which I don't think will ever happen, you know?
Yeah. I also feel
impact
like
creates vibration, and people for some reason don't want vibration in their hand when they feel like vibration is super important. You know?
I can't even really like hold any salt on that one because I haven't been tattooing very long at all. I can't be like, I'm trying to save my wrist or whatever. Just
yeah.
You know,
it's like you need to fuck yourself up a little bit more.
A little bit.
Yeah. My wrists don't even bug me, dude. I tattoo with coils all day long. I've never once like felt a difference in it, but I've also not been tattooing for very long. So I'm sure there's somebody who's been doing it for like 20 years that's just like, I'm tired of holding this shit. You know.
Yeah. Using fucking.
My homie Steve's his hands
over there.
No, use steel tubes.
Nice. That's even better, dude.
Yeah. That's the whole thing for me. I'll use disposable tubes sometimes. I'm just like, I fucking hate this. This sucks.
Yeah.
And a steel tube and a coil machine.
So in your apprenticeship, you were scrubbing tubes then?
No, in my apprenticeship, I worked at a shop that was like full. Well, okay, there's this distinction there. I did a full apprenticeship at a shop in St. Pete that I didn't get to like tattoo at. Okay. And whenever I left there, I started working at the shop that I am now, which is Hawk's Tattoos.
There we go.
It's Joe Hawk's shop. That's the best tattooer you never heard of.
Yep.
That dude is the coolest dude I've ever met in my entire life. He's taught me everything that I know about tattooing, everything that I know about being a good man. That's the dog right there.
That's awesome.
So I went to Joe's shop and I was like, yo, I'm trying to finish this apprenticeship that I started. I didn't say it like that.
Yeah. You're like, yo, dog, what's up?
I didn't even say that. Actually, I went to his shop and I was like, hey, I just moved down to the area and I saw that you made really nice tattoos. I wanted to come by and shake your hand, say what's up, and, meet you. And I didn't even say anything about trying to work there. I went home after that.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to finish my apprenticeship or whatever. And Joe asked me to come paint with him one day or whatever, and I had painted a Tiger Reaper and it looked terrible. It was not good. So I was like, Joe, how would you Joe, if you were drawing this, how would you fix this? And he pulled a piece of tracing paper out and he took a red Sharpie and he's fixing it or whatever. And he runs right off the tracing paper into the painting, just puts a big red line through it. And he's like, oh man, I'm so sorry. And he's freaking out, dude. And I was just like, it's not that big of a deal, dude. The painting was not very good. I'm not that worried about it. And he's like, oh, man, I think I have to hire you now. And I was like, I'm not going to tell you not to hire me. I'm not going to
tell you no, dude.
I'm not going to tell you not to hire me. So, he was just like, here's the deal, man. I don't really want an apprentice.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, these are two things. These are opposing things. What are you telling me right now? He's like, if I hire you, I'm going to hire you as a tattooer. And I was like, well, I've done 2 tattoos, dude. I don't know what I'm doing. And he's like, well, we're going to figure it out. So we're gonna figure it out. You're gonna do some tattoos, and they're probably gonna be bad, and then you're gonna figure it out that way.
Yeah.
And that's how, I don't even know how we got on this conversation, but I've been dying to talk about Joe.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
Yeah, Joe's super rad, man. When I went into to see you for some machine parts, you were really sweet, and you fucking introduced me to everybody. Everybody over there's real fucking nice, man. The energy in that shop is similar to the energy I feel here. You know what I mean? And that's awesome, I feel like it's definitely when you go into a real tattoo shop, a rock solid, fucking super awesome environment. Yeah, you feel it the second you walk in the door.
Absolutely,
yeah. Real shops smell a certain way, fucking look a certain way,
and sound a little bit of a way.
Our shop smells like Dettol and is super loud.
Yes.
No, we have hands down the coolest crew. I don't want to go anywhere. You know, I love where I work. I love where I work. I love the people I work with, and I love that I am, as long as I work there, I'm never going to be the best tattooer in the room. There's always going to be somebody better there.
Which is so, dude, I was just talking about that the other day with somebody where that is the fucking, I was just talking to my buddy Chris about that. It's the most important thing. And he said that his mentor said that was a bad thing.
No,
to be the worst person in the shop. It's fucking wild to me.
That's the best thing.
Being the bottom of the totem pole is exactly where you want to be every day of the week.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what my mentor always said. He said, I want a shop full of people that are way better than me. And I never understood that. And I was young. It's I thought
you didn't get it. Yeah, you're like, I thought you were the best. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, and it really shows in your work, I can, and the beauty of your work is that I can see Joe in it. I can see your inspiration of Joe, and he taught you a good amount. And that's in my opinion, it's never a bad thing when you see that. You know what I mean? You can, and your work is fucking stellar as well. On top of that, and
incredible,
just seeing that you're able to grasp a influence from somebody who's so goddamn good and still channel that into your work while still having your own voice.
Yeah.
Fucking A1 steak sauce.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much.
That's where everybody should be, though. I feel like I've had a lot of tattooers message us on the podcast to talk about how do you overcome that feeling of being feeling inadequate. And it's feeling inadequate is completely okay.
It's a part of it.
It's awesome.
It's part of it.
Yeah, I enjoy feeling obviously I don't feel like I drop the ball on every tattoo. You know what I mean? I still feel like I apply my tattoos well, but it's nice to see that I could do better. And I feel like so many people don't embrace the fact that you can do better. It's totally possible.
Yeah. I kind of get turned off whenever I see people like that, oh, I crushed this one or whatever, and I'm like, even if it is a nice tattoo, it just doesn't really sound,
it sounds weird. Yeah.
It sounds weird, and,
my dick is huge.
I
didn't hear anything else, but I have a huge dick.
No, it's, man, I appreciate you saying that, and your head's really gonna spin whenever you find out I'm not even the hardest worker at my shop.
Well, and this is the thing.
Everybody else there is so much better.
Dude, I'm a huge fan of the Panther Rose morphs, dude. They're
thanks, man.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
My brain just doesn't even
we were just talking about
comprehend
that.
anything like that.
That was really nice. Man.
Killer.
Chaz did a really nice one on Skylar as well.
Yeah, Chaz crushes it, dude.
Yeah. But no, dude, and you know, not even like, even if I were to say like, oh, Cody's not the hardest working person at the shop, like whatever, like it still shows like in your like, because again, we don't hang out every day. Sure. I don't see you every day. So all I can relate to how I feel about you is what I see on the internet. Mm-hmm. And when I see you on the internet, you're like, I'm like playing Apex Legends with a fucking beer in my lap, and you're like fucking painting, and I'm like, I'm such a fucking piece of shit, dude. Like,
dude, I'm playing Dark Souls. So.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I just started DS1 again.
Are we gonna turn this? Is the podcast about to shift right now? The podcast is about to shift. Fuck.
Welcome to the gaming podcast.
Welcome to the
Cody
Dark Souls
and Robbie.
podcast.
Nick, you could piss off for a little while.
I have a flight simulator.
Oh yeah, Nick's all about flight
simulator. You have a flight simulator?
Bro,
yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude.
It's super cool, dude, honestly.
Yeah, dude.
I've always wanted to fly,
That was nice, too, when that happened. When Elden Ring came out and I saw you fucking post that shit, I was like, fuck tattooing, dude. We're talking about Elden Ring.
I'm on my little kick where I actually like Dark Souls right now, but most of the time.
Which one are you playing?
Right now I'm on 3.
But 3 was cool. DS2 sucked.
I didn't play 2 yet. But most of the time I get like, I'll go on like these sprees of just playing these video games, and then I'll get really bummed out. Like I could be doing something better with my time. I could be, and it's usually just like I feel like I should be drawing right now.
Yeah, of course.
And then I'll get stuck on a boss that takes like way too long, and I'm just like, well, I'm definitely gonna go draw now because I'm so fucking over this.
Yeah.
But
I have a good Dark Souls story, but I don't want to like lose our interest in our listeners.
We'll talk about that after for sure.
It gets you though. I mean, I play video games and stuff, and I had to stop. Like I had to. I absolutely had to.
I also feel like sometimes, like, I mean, as a tattooer, like you hear your mentor's voice in your head, like always. That's just how being a person who was raised in tattooing properly. It's like, what the fuck? Like I was never allowed to like sit down with my fucking feet up and fucking hold my dick in my hand. Like that's not allowed. You know what I mean? It was like either you're like drawing or you're marketing or you're trying to get somebody in the door, or like a client comes in with some friends and you have to talk that friend into getting tattooed. And like, which sucks. Like that's like, that's part of being new. You know what I mean? And like now I've tried to embrace like just accepting the fact that I can do nothing. You know?
Yeah. Sure.
Like it is totally okay. Like I am not going to lose all of my abilities by playing Dark Souls for a couple hours 2 nights in a row. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in my brain, I'm immediately like, oh, I'm fucking falling off. Like there's somebody else doing better. Like I'm not working hard enough.
I'm hyper obsessive.
Yeah.
If I'm into something, I'm hyper obsessive. I only allow myself 2 or 3 hobbies outside of tattooing because I just won't.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I might cancel everyone next week.
Like, you know what I mean? I played music my whole life, so I do like little music projects, and then I like to play these games. I like to play D&D and Magic and Dark Souls and stuff like that. And I only allow and I like to ride, like cycle. I like to ride my bike.
Did you
because
find your bike?
No, I didn't. Let's not talk about that. I found it on OfferUp. First of all, Jerome Lewis, if you're watching this shit, I saw you. You put my bike on OfferUp. I'm coming for you.
Motherfuckers.
That's
I
it.
fucking fuck this guy. Anyways, so I only have a couple things outside of tattooing that I allow myself to do because I'm hyper obsessive. Like hyper obsessive. When I get on something, I'm on something. And whenever I get stuck on these video games or whatever, like it's full force on these video games, and I'm just like, man, I could be working harder at tattooing. This is gonna benefit me in so many other ways. Like this is how we're having a baby soon. This is how I'm gonna feed my kid. You know, this is you know, and there's no downside to working hard at tattooing.
No.
You know that.
But it is also you do need to reward yourself.
You got to give yourself leisure.
You got to give yourself something. You know, and it seems like you have a healthy balance between like, well, I mean, from my perspective, again, I'm not there, but like it seems like you have a nice healthy balance between like working real hard at tattooing and like being a regular person. You know,
it took me. I had to break myself really bad to get to that point though. So whenever I first started working with Joe, it was just me and him there. We had one other person that was there for a little while whenever I first started working with him. We let her go, and then it was just me and Joe for a while.
Oh, wow.
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so me and Joe at the location, not the location that we are now, but we had a location which is probably about the size of Trevor's workstation. The whole,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys were in a small space.
Small space, and there was 2 of us tattooing in there. And so my only direct influence on watching somebody's workload was watching Joe work. And I don't know if you've seen what a 16-year-old tattooer can do,
It's a lot more than what I
But
can
it's
do.
a lot more than what a first and second year tattooer can do. But in my mind, I had to keep up with them as much as I possibly could.
Sure.
And I'm very thankful for the growth that I had during that period, but it broke me. I couldn't do it. And then then you have like a little bit of ego attached to it or whatever, you know, and you have like, you feel so bad, like you feel like you let a bunch of people down because like you're burnt out or whatever.
Sure.
And
you're
just like, nobody fucking cares.
Nobody gives a shit.
Nobody gives a shit.
No.
So, you know, like
I want to be, I think, you know.
Yeah. So I had a pretty serious like breakdown with Joe, and I was just like, he had never made me feel like I had to keep up with him. This was all mental for me. This was all mental for me. This was me saying, this is my main influence. This is the person that gave me tattooing. This is the person that sets the example for me every day. I'm going to do everything that I can to follow that example because I know what's going to be at the end of that if I can.
Is you acquiring his skills, his skill base or whatever.
But somebody who's been doing this for 1 or 2 years, trying to keep up with somebody who's been doing this for 16, and he was already a gifted artist before he was tattooing. He was a firefighter before that, and he was a gifted artist then. He wasn't even a tattooer back then. So for me to try to keep up with somebody who was just that good at what he's doing was really, really hard for me to do. So I had to break myself, or I ended up breaking myself, and then it was hard to realize. I still have a hard time with it, but this balance, you know, between like working hard at this and then taking care of yourself at the same time. Like the girl who's having my baby right now, she broke up with me. I was just like, what's wrong? She's like, what do you mean what's wrong? Like, all you care about it. This is, you have blinders against everything that's not this. And I had to break myself away from tattooing a little bit. Like, not like stop tattooing, but I had to just like, I had to refocus myself, and I'm glad it worked out. I mean, like, you know, getting married and having a baby and stuff like that. It all,
congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Tremendous change.
Yeah, and it all worked out. So the effort that I distracted myself away from tattooing ended up working out for me. But I didn't realize until she was just like, I'm not doing this.
She's
I'm
over
not
it. Yeah, she's over it at that point.
And I didn't realize until like I was going to lose somebody really special to me that like, yo, like, I'm not even really having fun right now. I'm not having fun. This person that I really care about is about to dip on me. Like, something's got to give. I got to change something, you know? So there's a balance in there. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but at least I feel like I can give my clients a good tattoo. I can have fun while I'm doing it, and I can still spend time with my family.
I really feel like those first two, I mean, aside from like the, you know, family stuff is super, super important, but like just having a good time while you're doing what you're doing.
That's going to show so much in your tattoos.
Yeah, man. Like when you're in an environment where like you show up to make tattoos and everyone's pumped, everyone's talking about what they're working on. Like you're just
checking on.
Yeah, dude. Like, you're like popping in, like, what's up, dude? Like, that's my favorite thing about this group is like if Nick's working on something super rad, like I'm at the window watching him fucking tattoo, or like if I'm working on something,
here, like, there's nothing to see here, man.
Yeah, right. It's like, piss off, dude.
Yeah.
But like that's the environment that you need to be in, and you need to be having a good time.
I agree.
So many people work their fucking regular jobs, and like I think it's easy for us to forget that like there are other jobs that we could be working out there, and like we could be having a fucking terrible time.
That's
being
a fucking bummer, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I'll go to the CVS. I'll buy something.
Yeah.
I'll be like, that sucked. That sucked. I had to be in a CVS for 5 minutes. This motherfucker has to be here for 8 hours.
Yeah, 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week.
Yeah, like, and I've said I'm just making pictures with my friends.
Right? Yeah, that's it, dude. I'm making fancy scabs.
It's a tremendous privilege.
It's wild, dude. We made our apprentice keep his normal job, his day job, for as long as he could, just because, like, dude, you're not gonna appreciate this. No. If we just give this to you, you're not gonna know what it feels like.
How old is your apprentice, if you don't mind me asking?
He's 19 years old.
So if you don't have, like, because I started tattooing at 26, so like, I started tattooing pretty late in my life.
Yeah.
And like I worked a copious amount of jobs before I started tattooing, and now that I am a tattooer, like there is never a moment where I take it for granted, because I've laid tile, I've done roofing, I've painted cars, like I've done all these fucking things, and I'm like, I would never go back to that life. Ever in my life. You couldn't pay me $1 million a year to go back to that.
Absolutely. I talk to the guys all the time about how I feel like my life didn't even start until I had tattooing.
Yeah.
You know, so between 16 to 20 I was getting heavily tattooed. I was also trying to learn how to tattoo at the time. Didn't work out for me. I got a job in a music store for 6 years, and it was a pretty cool job. It started off pretty cool. Ended up like gradually getting like, you know, shittier and shittier and like more corporate or whatever. I was definitely buying into the lie of just like, oh, you're not making a lot of money as an associate, but you know, if you work hard enough, you can be a manager and then you'll get some more money. I never made more than $400 of that job working 40 hours a week as a manager.
You know, even there's days where like, you know, like we talked about, like I did 7 or so walk-ins today and our minimum's $100. They were all little guys, you know, so I jammed them out.
Some of the best days.
Dude, I love those days. And like I did a group of 5 girls from Ohio. They all wanted a little red wave, which I thought was really fucking cool. Did I tell you about what they were doing? They got a little fucking red outline wave for the red tide that's going on outside.
Oh boy.
All right, that's way cooler. That is way cooler than what I thought you were about to say, awesome. But everything else is kind of lame.
Yeah. They came in, they're like, we want a red wave for the red tide that we fucking flew here to experience. They're like, hell yeah,
that's
dude,
fucking
come on
nuts,
in.
dude.
But like, I mean, I did those 5 tattoos in an hour and 45 minutes, and I made $500. And it's like, that's somebody's regular fucking paycheck that I made in an hour and a fucking half.
Yeah, you know? That's a big thing that we try to remember whenever we're tattooing, and this is something big that Joe pushes, is we're not the most expensive shop to get tattooed by. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, we definitely charge what our tattoos are worth as far as whatever the industry dictates.
Yes.
You know, most people are $150 an hour now. At least a lot of people around $200 an hour. We're not expensive to get tattooed by because the person who's coming to get that tattoo from me, granted, they do sit down and save up for it for a while, but that person had to work way harder for that money than you did to make this. Now, I'm not saying that you didn't have to work hard to get where you are to make this tattoo for you. That's a whole different story. But this person had to do something totally different than what you're doing to make this money that you're going to make in, 2-3 hours, maybe 4 hours? It's obscene. That's nuts. And also that's something not to take for granted.
Also, like the quality of work that you're doing, you're also going to have those clients come back more often than if you hit them for $1,000.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You hit somebody for $350, $400, you'll see them twice a month.
I've heard stories of tattooers being like, what you got in your pockets? And they're just like, I got like $1,000. Like, well, that tattoo costs $1,000, you know? You know, like, and, you know.
Within reason.
Within reason.
Yeah. Like, whoa, that's a little much.
Like, sometimes, like, people come in and they want something crazy, and I'm like, well, what do you have to spend? You know what I mean? And
I thought they were going to say, like, $182.
Yeah, and then when they say $300, I'm like, oh, sick. Like, we can do this fucking this big. Then if you want for $300, it can take you 2 hours. Like, I don't care. 2-3 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've had conversations with other like friends of mine or whatever that talked about like your worth as a tattooer and this, that, and the other. And I don't want to discredit any of that, but like, I just feel like we have so much. This is a hard one. We have so much fun, even just working on getting better at tattooing.
For sure.
Not even just the tattooing, and you know. I don't want to charge anybody $800-900 to sit in my chair for a day. No. You know, like I have whenever I've really given something that I feel like I can be proud of. And like I did the study and I gave them a unique design. I didn't just, get something off the wall or whatever. I've definitely tattooed somebody for a really long time in one sitting, giving them a cool tattoo and charging them something around there. But for the most part, dude, if you're here to get something cool and we're having fun, I had fun making it for you.
Yes, we're hanging out.
Time, like that's the shit for. And I'm still gonna go home that day with more money than it took me for 40 hours anywhere else.
100%.
That's fucking crazy, dude. It's crazy.
It is crazy. It is crazy, and a blessing.
Sometimes you think like I think to myself, I'm like, man, like what direction could I have taken my life where I could have a good time every day and still do good tattoos?
Short of being drunk all day.
And sometimes, fuck. I mean,
but some people,
we've been there.
Get bummed out and stuff. It's like, and I was actually just having a conversation with another tattooer, a friend of mine and stuff like that, and he's going through a bit of a rough time and stuff, and. It's like, but at the end of the day, like, how awful is it really?
It's not awful at all, dude. It's not unless you make it awful. Because I've met people that make tattooing miserable for them, and some
it's all personal. Of course,
some strong influences I had growing up, people who I really admired their work, and I'm not going to say any names, of course, but their work changed something for me as a tattooer in a good way. I'd see their work and I'd go, "This is fucking incredible." I would meet them and they'd be miserable. I'd be like, "What what's there to be miserable about, dude?
Like you made it.
I'm not saying that I'm not saying there's nothing to be miserable about.
Like,
I'm sure there's downsides.
There's been weeks where like I've had cancellation after cancellation after cancellation, and that's a fucking bummer.
That's a bummer too.
You're like, why are they and obviously like as a creative, our mind always goes, well, it's my fault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As somebody who works really hard, I'm like, well, you canceled on me, so that falls on me for some reason.
Yeah.
And in reality, like,
shit happens,
there's a
though.
trillion
You know
other things that could have caused somebody to cancel an appointment, you know?
I have to remind myself all the time that this getting tattooed is a luxury, and some people think they can have this luxury this time, and then life changes, because it's happened to me, and they don't get this luxury whenever the time comes around. You know, if you're scheduling with somebody that's a few months out, you'd be on top of the world in May, and then the following month comes around, and then you're not on top of the world anymore. Yeah. And you know, all that. I mean, if there's any customers listening, all that we need is communication whenever that comes. Yeah. For the most part, I mean, like, some people are assholes. Dude, I had this dude. Some people suck.
Just like block me on Instagram instead of.
Dude, I've had that too. I've had just like, I'm just not gonna show up to my appointment. I'm gonna block him. I'm just gonna never talk to this guy. Dude, just tell me you can't make it.
Shit ever.
Just tell me you can't make it, and I'll probably tattoo you again whenever you can.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah,
or like I've had somebody actually, like, I spoke to them a couple months later. Like, they came in the shop, rescheduled, and they're like, hey, you said that the tattoo was going to be like $400 and I only had $300. And I'm like, dude, if you would have just told me that, I would have tattooed you.
I'll still run that tat.
Like, yeah.
I'll still do it.
I'll still do it. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Is it
I'd
cool?
much
Let's
rather
go.
be tattooing than sitting around doing nothing.
If you stay home, then I don't get to do a tattoo.
Yeah.
But if you come by and give me whatever you have, I'm gonna get to do a tattoo that day, and I'm gonna get some money. It's gonna be awesome.
Have like a PlayStation, or you have like a bicycle.
Hit me with something. I'm open ears. You know what I mean?
Like, I'll tattoo for anything. I mean, obviously, like, that goes to
also within reason.
Different people's like deal that they have with the shop that they work at. You know,
I remember
what I mean?
Oker used to post all the time, just like,
Steve,
y'all motherfuckers got some guns.
I'm big. Yeah, like, they're always worth money. You know, like, whether I need them or not.
I don't do a lot of trades, man, but like, for the most part, if I've tattooed you before and I like you and we're gonna do a cool tattoo, I hope I don't regret saying this. I don't give a fuck about your money, dude. Like, if you're fun whenever you come in,
whatever, man, come hang out.
Like, if you're fun when you come to get tattooed, you get cool stuff.
Yeah.
I told you the tattoo was gonna cost $400, and you got $300.
Dude, whatever.
I'm gonna do the tattoo.
Yeah, man. Fuck
you know, like, I'm not like inviting people to like hush me down or whatever.
But that being
said,
though,
I will stand my line on my price unless like it's.
I've totally had some shit.
Yeah,
very
it's like,
similar,
and I'm only thinking of a few choice people whenever I talk about this as well, because there's people that come in our shop and they get tattooed by everybody in our shop. We have like 4 or 5 clients that they have just. They have 4 or 5 clients, and they just come, and sometimes they're not even here to get tattooed. Sometimes they're just like, "What are you guys up to today?"
Yeah.
And like, sometimes that's annoying.
But sometimes
I see the face you're making. Sometimes that is annoying, but we have a couple people that is totally invited to do that. We have a you know, we have you know,
just stop by. What could it hurt? You know what I mean? Like, I very well might have had this.
You know, don't linger around or whatever.
On Instagram this morning.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Don't linger around for too long. Pop in, see what we're doing.
So like, the cool thing that goes on here is like, you could tell the super regular clients of Nick and Trevor, because they'll show up with a 12-pack of either Coors for Trevor or Mick Ultra for Nick.
Thank you all so much.
Yeah. But I had a client come in the other day, and he saw that, like, you know, I drink beers while I'm working. Like, I'm not getting hammered. I'm not having like I'm not belligerent.
Yeah, you don't get rowdy.
I drink a couple Budweisers. You know what I mean? And like, I had a client that came in and brought me a 6er of Budweiser, and I went to Trevor and Nick. I was like, I fucking made it, dude. It was the first
you made it, dude.
It was the first client that ever brought me beers. But like, that's the sickest shit. Like, to me, like, I would rather.
It's thoughtful. Yeah, I mean, to me, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
like, I would rather get a $0 tip and someone bring me a 6er, and like, we're fucking square, dude. Like, pay me for the tattoo and righteous. Like, you understand me.
I'm down for that in downtime for sure. Like, if a homie's trying to get tattooed, he's just like, I don't have what we talked about or whatever. Like, if it's my downtime, like, I'm good to go. But you know, if it's go time, you know, I might need to reschedule to a slower day or something like that.
Of course.
You know,
I even have some people, like, we have some cats that just, like, Frankie is one of them. Like, he'll just show up. Like, he works at Lexus. Like,
he's like, oh, no, I don't schedule appointments.
Like, we have those too. He just pops in. He's like, who has time? He's like, no, first what he'll do is be like, Robbie, you got time? And I'll be like, no. And he's like, who else has time in here?
You know who used to do that to me all the time? He doesn't know who Muka is?
No.
Muta, he owns Ink Fink down. He's been tattooing in our neck of the woods for about 20 years now.
Oh, no shit.
This motherfucker, I would love to tattoo him.
Yeah.
I would love to tattoo him. But he would always hit me up, and I used to post I wouldn't post full shots of my client drawings, but I would post these really up close just so you can see what I was doing the next day or whatever.
Yeah.
Muta would be like, "Yo, let me snag that," and I'd be like, "This is for a client, dog. Schedule an appointment." And he's like, "Nah, I'll just respond to your next story and be like, let me snag that one."
Over and over and over again. I'm never gonna book an appointment ever.
Oh my god, man.
It used to crack me up, dude. And then I would tell Chopper that story, and he's just like, "Yeah."
That's just how it goes.
That's just how it goes.
That's just how it is, dude.
That's so fucking funny, man.
Yeah.
Well, we're actually fucking breezing through this. We're at 55 minutes right
No
now.
way.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, an hour.
Damn,
Time's
dude.
flies
I always
by,
listen to
man.
podcasts, and people are just like, "Oh, it's been an hour." Just like, no, it goes by so fast.
Right? Super
Yeah.
quick.
Crazy.
So,
We're
really,
going to talk about these birds not being
dude,
real.
well, we're gonna do the halfway mark.
Well, I was trying to say I just got back from fucking Tulsa from a flat Earth convention and stuff.
Did
So,
you? Man.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
No.
yeah, he
No,
did
that
actually.
Never happened.
So if you're tuning in, it's still here at the 55-minute mark. Nick is a bona fide flat earther as well.
Not a
We
bonehead.
are doing we're not doing an ad read this week. All I'm going to say, we're not going to waste a whole bunch of your time. Please go to our store Frontier with the link in our bio on Instagram and snag a T-shirt or two. I'm going to twist Cody's arm and make him send us a line drawing for a T-shirt if he's into it.
And
If
also,
not- if
please
not, I
bear
won't.
with us on the store Frontier. We are aware their website platform is
garbage.
fucking awful.
Yes. We're going to reach out to
so-
them and talk about that. If not, we might switch over to another website.
Yeah, sure, you know.
But we're working on making some new T-shirts. We are hoping to have some here in stock at Liberty if you want to grab some. That's going to be a future
No, we
thing.
do not.
We're working on it. It's going to happen. But,
That is not true.
but anyway, if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts,
sure,
YouTube,
yeah.
whatever, just do the YouTube stuff and do the podcast stuff and like our stuff and leave a review.
Well,
if you
yeah,
want
you know,
to.
I mean, I think the YouTube's super helpful as well, though. You know, if you like anything of what someone's saying, then you can put a face and to who you're listening to. So when you walk into the shop and
Yeah, you know. I think it's really cool too to have so many. Like, I feel like a lot of tattooers listen to the podcast, but it's cool when
Which is
clients
super.
listen to it.
Yeah.
and they're like,
Right,
"Oh,
yeah.
dude, I fucking heard that shit."
Like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like what we were talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
earlier. Like, this is just a normal dude that's just into tats. You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
I
just
actually,
wanna
dude,
talk
I
about
really
tattoos.
like when people are really into tattoos but have no interest in being a tattooer.
That's
like-
the cool
Like,
shit.
what are you doing? Why are
I'm
you?
so
why don't
stoked.
you
I'm so stoked about that because, like, I mean, I don't want to be like, oh, everybody wants to be a tattooer because,
Yeah.
like, I'm a new tattooer as
I'm
well.
the same way.
You know,
I
like,
wanted to be a
so
tattooer.
hell yeah, I want to be a
Yeah.
tattooer. It fucking sounds awesome. But there's this dude that paints everybody's windows up in Tampa named
Yeah.
Jeff over at Sun Signs.
He did my business card.
I talked to him and I was just
You're
like,
supposed to
Jeff,
do
you
ours.
not want to be a
You're supposed to do
tattooer?
ours.
And he's just like, no. And I was like, oh,
Dude,
that's
and-
so
Bless your
cool
heart.
to hear, dude. I love it.
And when you talk to him, he can just rattle off names. Like
Yeah.
he'll like he
He
fucking
knows
knows
tats.
his tattoo history.
He
and
knows
it's like,
tats.
whoa, dude, like fuck.
For
Like
sure.
talking to him, I was like, I felt like he was a tattooer who got out of it to make signs, but he had never tattooed.
He had never tattooed. He
Yeah.
just likes to sign paint, and I think that's arguably cooler than being a tattooer right now.
100% cooler.
You know, like
because there's like 12 sign painters.
I was exactly. I was attracted to tattooing initially from a young age because it was a subculture. It wasn't something that everybody was doing, and I don't want to be like the hipster wearing a beanie over his ears right now.
You're
just
wearing a
like,
beanie.
I know I'm wearing a beanie right now, dude. It's gonna sound really hip, and I don't want to be the guy that's just like, oh, everybody does this or everybody's into this, so I don't like it or whatever. But like, it's kind of true because I've always liked subcultures. That's why I liked tattooing.
For sure.
It wasn't it was uncommon to see somebody with a full sleeve whenever I was younger or whatever.
Yeah.
And whenever you did, you were like, that's so fucking
Yeah.
cool, you know? And, you know, now it's more uncommon to see somebody without a tattoo.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which, you know, that's a good and a bad thing. You know, like, it's good because us as tattooers, you know, everybody's into tattooing. It's a bad thing because, like, I don't want to sound like an old man where, like, tattooing, like, lost its magic or whatever, because I definitely don't think that it has.
Yeah.
But it's definitely different than whenever you used to see tattoos.
100%.
You know? And
sure.
I do miss the mystery of it. And what I think is so cool about Jeff is that, he doesn't care about being a tattooer. He just wants to. He likes doing these signs, and I think signs are dope because not everybody's doing them.
Yeah, he's incredible, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever dabbled with one shot. That shit is a fucking nightmare.
It's hard, dude.
That shit is so fucking impressive.
I want to know how he's making soft edges on his black. I'm gonna get with Jeff. I'm gonna fucking message him.
Oh yeah, let me teach you everything I know.
Get in here just so I can learn how you're like spit shading one shot. You fucking weirdo.
I used to follow this dude that he didn't even do like tat windows or whatever. He would do like the numbers or letters on like used cars and stuff. Like, I would just watch this motherfucker one shot. Yeah. Like, it's cool, man. Like, it's a profession. I love it, It's an older profession that has kind of been forgotten. Yep. And it's coming back a little bit, but there's not too many people doing it just yet to where there's still mystery around it.
I agree.
There's still it's
I like even more though some of these like stellar sign painters doing like tons of tattoo shops, and then you'll see a dabble of barbershop, then a grocery market store.
Dude. Jeff just did
you know what I mean, and like some fruit stand or something.
Jeff he's doing all of it. And,
I love it.
And what I do like about businesses that hire people like Jeff is that it shows that they have something, a personal touch in that.
I agree.
They see how popular.
I totally agree.
Like, not only like how
a handmade
Jeff
sign,
is, but like but how popular that is, like, as dumb as it sounds, like the aesthetic of that is so much cooler than buying vinyl.
100%.
Like, it's so stale.
You're like, I see what you're seeing, but check me out. They're like, whoa.
It's like gold. Like, there is nothing, like, you can't. I will argue till I'm dead that there is nothing cooler than gold leaf. Like, just look
gold
at, like,
leaf is tight.
You walk up to a tattoo shop and there's fucking gold leaf on the window, or there's just one shot, like, even if it's just their hours. Like, I'm just like, fuck, that's cool. Like, I already know what it's going to be, like, how cool it's going to be on the inside.
It just kind of shows that there's a character in that building that I'm interested in. Like, there's a place next door to my house called Nebraska Mini Mart. It's like a little, it's like the, you know, if you go to a baseball game, they got like a little concession stand.
Yeah,
it's that, dude, and they just have hand painted sign outside.
That's what I'm saying.
They're serving bare bones. So they got basic milkshakes and basic burgers.
That's so tight.
And it's just cool.
That's my kind of joint.
It's just cool, and they're really
probably
good.
Open hella late, right?
They're only open late.
Yeah,
even cooler.
It's tight though, man. I like when people put that personality into whatever they're doing. You know, it doesn't always have to be tattooing. It can be sign painting. It can be making burgers, dude. You know?
Yeah. We've had a lot of people too that like just don't tattoo, and like I was saying, clients or like other people who just stumbled upon the podcast, and it's like I think it's nice to like, if you work really hard at whatever you're doing, like, you're gonna enjoy, like, eventually, if you are really supposed to be doing it, you will enjoy yourself, you know. And I think that's really important to understand and learn how to navigate. Is like, that's why apprenticeships are so important. It's like, you're gonna work really, really fucking hard to gain something that's really, really important to you. You know,
I love that. That's still, I'm going to say the proper way to get into tattooing. I know that that's technically an opinion, but I don't think it's really an opinion.
No.
I think that this goes back so far in the tradition of working for your right to be here rather than paying to be here is more important. And our apprentice doesn't give us a dime. He comes in, he takes out the trash, he draws all day, he paints, he does what he's supposed to be doing. He gets tattooed by good tattooers, not just by us, but by other people.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Dude, that too is like hearing like older cat. Like, I mean, Joe's not young. He's been tattooing for a hot minute.
Yeah.
Like, him being open to the apprentice going to get tattooed at other places is so rad, because when I first started, I was not allowed to go travel. Like, I was stuck in that room.
There's still people that still
and
think
there are people that still feel that way. Yeah, it's like, dude, the best way. And I think we like really hashed this on one episode, so I don't want to go too far into it. But like, the most important thing is to understand and see what's going on around you. You know, and I listened to a podcast a long time ago, and it wasn't really a podcast, but it was a YouTube video. And they talked about how, like, the dude down the block from you, like, even the guy that's fucking right next to your shop, like, they have some shit that you can learn.
Sure.
You know, like,
yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
sure that you having the ability to just go walk over to gift shop and, like, creep on whatever Kerwin's up to. Like, you could probably pull some inspiration from that.
Dude, even
Kerwin may be doing the same over there by you guys.
Yeah,
you know?
Even closer, directly across the street from us, and we didn't know this whenever we moved into the building, is Matt Lane over Undertow Tattooing. And I'm talking about, like, hey, where's that guy's shop? It's right fucking there. That's that dude's shop right there. And Joe hit him up, and he was like all upset. That he was just like, dude, I didn't know that you worked here. And dude was super cool about it. He was just like, I don't care, man. I got my own clients or whatever. I'll go get lunch, and I'll drop in at Matt's shop. We'll be like,
that's sick.
What's Matt doing?
That's awesome.
I was lucky to have that also, like, Austin being in our building and like going over to go hang out with Austin Maples and like just stop in and see Graham Harrington and like they're super phenomenal dudes. Not only are they phenomenal tattooers, but they're really, really fucking nice dudes.
Yeah.
And like they were super accommodating. Like Austin, when I first met him, I didn't even know who Austin was.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds really bad because I had been tattooing for 4 years, but like that style just didn't really catch what I was doing, you know? And like he was like, come over, have a coffee if you want a coffee, like hang out with us if you want to hang out with us. Like you're always welcome. And like all it was open the door and just walk in.
That's just as important as your ability as a tattooer, in my opinion. Yeah. And I've had such a great example of that. Joe's one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life, and he'll give anybody the shirt off of his back. It doesn't matter if you're his friend or not. If you're in need, he's going to help you. And being a good person in addition to your tattooing ability is just as important as
totally.
Because think about. We all have a lot of tattoos, right? Are you guaranteed to have a tattoo from some motherfucker you hate? Even if it's a nice one. Even if it's a nice one.
Right, right.
You look at your tattoo just like, yeah, this tattoo's nice. I fucking hate that guy.
Yep.
You know.
And I remember the moment, and I remember like, and also like talking about that like that tattoo. Like I remember how I felt in the moment of hating that person.
Right,
yeah.
You know.
Now I have this tattoo.
And now I have to look at it for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and some people, I've had clients tell me just like, you know, I want to get this tattoo covered up, and I'll be like, it's a really nice tattoo, and they're just like, I don't care.
Yep.
I don't care.
Yep.
Get it off me.
Yep.
You know, and you don't want to be the guy on the other end of that. You don't want to be the guy just like, yeah, you did a really nice tattoo, but you were an asshole the whole time they were here.
Right.
You know, or you
I've heard
like,
those stories for sure.
You carried yourself however which way, and I'm sure we've all unconsciously done it, you know, like on a bad day or whatever.
For sure, yeah.
Making sure that you're
human, you know? Like being
right, within human error.
Within human error.
I
mean, everybody, like we actually talked about that here at the shop, is like, you know, sometimes like I'll come in and I'll just be in a shit mood. You know? And like not realizing how much that affects everybody else around me. Yeah. You know? And like now I've noticed like those days, like whenever I feel that way, like I'll just fucking go home.
Yeah.
Like
if
I have an appointment,
you're dragging everybody down or whatever, you know.
I'll text my appointment and be like, yo, I'm not feeling it today. I feel like shit. I want to tattoo you real bad. I want to do a good job on you. I'd rather not do it today.
But
and 9 times out of 10 people are understanding.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
And when you're not
100%,
working for like a money-hungry shop owner,
like,
that's fine.
That's a big one.
It also depends on who you're working for, what your situation is.
If your owner's not a tattooer, chances are you're not going home that day.
Yes, you are not.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, and I mean, I feel like it's better for and it's almost being selfless for Nick or for Trevor or for
in a sense, you know, buzz killing, you know, killing the vibe or whatever, you know.
Your guys' day because my shit's going on.
That's kind of why we also opened this place, though. You know, we've worked in like service industry shit, and we've also, you know, we were also customers and stuff. We like walk in, just like wanting to check shit out and stuff, and it's like 3 people just sitting around at a table like drawing. They like look up.
Yeah.
Don't say nothing. Like, okay, all right, I'm gonna fucking piss the fuck off.
I've been in shops before, sitting in the lobby before I was a tattooer, just trying to get tattooed, flipping through portfolios. Somebody says, people just looking at me.
Nothing.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, yo, like,
I don't even care if I make anything.
Yeah, and I think it's so weird, you know, like whenever you walk into our shop.
Hey man, what's going on? How are you, man?
Immediately, you know, like
it's also like one thing that's really nice about Hawk's Tattoo is that it's small. Like it's not a huge giant space where like everybody when you're like in there tattooing, I'm sure when you guys are like getting to it, it's like electrical downtown. 1, 2, 3, everybody's 4, 5, on top 6. Of each other,
super cool.
And like clients are interacting, you guys are interacting, like that just adds to it, man. It just makes it so much better.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like, but I am trying to boast up the shop.
Yeah, dude,
people
fucking
love getting tattooed at our shop. You know, that's not like a cynical thing or whatever the word is. That's not a thing about like me in particular or whatever. People love getting tattooed at our shop because we're loud, we're inviting, we're fun, you know, we're you know, all of our we buy people lunch. Like I'm not gonna buy everybody lunch. Don't ask
some people get lunch.
If I'm buying a taco when you're there, you might get a taco.
Yeah,
sure.
If I'm ordering Postmates, I might slide you some Chick-fil-A.
But
you're here,
you know,
like,
but people love getting tattooed at our shop because Mike. I don't know if you ever met Mike. Mike is one of those people where if you don't like Mike, chances are you're the asshole.
Yeah,
like.
You're the problem.
That's
you're
fair.
The
That's
you're
fair.
Problem.
That's
There's
totally
no way
fair.
that you're not gonna like Mike unless you're the fucking problem. And then Devin and Max. They're loud. They got jokes. They got
Max
mad
is
jokes.
Like so eccentric.
Yeah, dude.
It.
So it's so fun. And we have this open floor plan where like nobody's closed off in rooms or whatever, and we're cracking jokes. We're playing stupid music, bro. I'm not allowed to run the radio anymore. I got
kicked off the radio.
I got kicked off the radio, bro. But
Too much Limp Bizkit.
No, dude. We always think it's really funny because we have a hair salon at the end of our plaza, and like somebody will come in. We're like listening to like Sheryl Crow or something, like, and then we're just like, how funny would it be if like the study, that's the name of the salon, and they're just like listening to like 200 stab wounds right now, like, and we're like playing Cher, you know.
It's like somebody walks into the tattoo shop. Like some days we'll come in here like, and Trevor had beat us all to work, and like he'll just have like hits of the 90s on.
Dude,
we'll pick that up all day, dude.
Yeah. 80s and 90s country. If Max isn't there, because Max likes to ruin everybody's good time. I'm just kidding, Max. 80s, 90s country. If Max isn't there, we're running it start to finish.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And then so Max loves to play my mom's Now That's What I Call Music Volume 12 CD.
Love that.
Yeah, we have. I think we've all kind of got lost in our irony of
dude,
we're trying to like play music like, oh, check out this, remember this song, remember Darude Sandstorm? But now it's every day, dude. We start the day with Darude Sandstorm, Space Jam. I like to play
we did that with fucking that Drake song, that Hotline Bling song. Every day, like somebody would turn it on at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It was like we had to listen to it. It was like started out as a complete joke. Someone played it as a joke, and then it became like a everyday thing. We used to do where it was like, our shop had 12 people at it that I first started at. Yeah. It's a fucking big shop.
That's
a lot of people, a lot of personalities. So the you know how it is in a tattoo shop. Like someone's playing music, 9 times out of 10, there's 2 people who fucking hate it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it causes a problem. So we would have like a specific day for everyone to play music, and there would be 2 people. And like Skylar and I had gotten the same day. Like they started this, and it's like me and Skylar, and I was like, dude, we're playing fucking Limp Bizkit all day. And like it lasted maybe 20 minutes, and then somebody else took over the radio. But like that's it's so sick that is a substrate of tattooing. Like that interaction, that amount of fun is completely separate from like me even making a tattoo. You know what I mean? And you get to enjoy yourself in that way.
You don't remember it with the tattoo.
Yeah, dude.
That's important.
All part of it.
That's important.
It's super
I know
rad.
tattooing used to be really rough and tough, and you know, I wasn't around for that. You know, whenever tattooing was really gnarly, it was not something I got to be a part of, but get to be a part of tattooing now. And the way I see tattooing now is it's not just walk in, pick something off the wall, sit down, shut up, and get your tattoo. Like, this is an experience. This is a service, and it's an expensive service.
Yeah.
So you're going to come in here and gonna drop all this money just for, you know, somebody to be like rude the whole time or whatever, and like, and then they're going to be like upset they have this tattoo because they're just like, oh, that was kind of weird or whatever. Like I did some walk-ins today, and they were, it was quite literally the most quintessential like walk-in tattoo. It was a little outline of a moon, and then a friend wanted a little outline of a sun. And they had came here and they were just like, oh, we're so happy that you guys are like fun and laughing. Or because the last place that I was at, you know, it was really weird in there, like, and you know, I liked being in that shop. I like being the shop that people are comfortable at. Yeah. I like the no ego thing. I like the fact that we're all here to make the day happen. Yeah. You know, and it's nice to have customers enjoy themselves. You know, it's not all about us, because without the customers, no matter what tattoo you're getting, you're not gonna get to work that day unless nobody's gonna get a tattoo.
Yeah, dude.
So
and also like having a good time. Like Siegfried, do you want a beer? I'll get you one. Take over.
You guys were mid conversation. How fucking rude can you get, man? Jesus Christ, man.
But I mean, it's all stuff that we've all heard before. Like, man, tattooing is so cool that we just get to like hang around and do this all day. And like, you're doing a podcast right now where we're just sitting bullshitting about tattoos. Yeah, like, we tattooed all day long, and what do you want to do tonight? Yeah, let's talk about tattoos more, dude.
No plumber has ever talked about doing this.
We talked the whole way leading up to this podcast about how the Earth is actually a dome.
Also, now that you're tuning into the over an hour part of the podcast, this is the members only part, and we're talking about flat Earth.
So hear me out, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, The Earth is probably donut shaped. No, the dome theory.
No, contact lens. The contact.
I heard
lens.
contact lens. I went upstairs one day and my girl was
Did you read into it?
No, she told me that it was she told me it was a contact lens, and I was just like, "You seem serious about this, so I'm just gonna take your word for it."
The first time,
I had a nickel, you know,
something tells me I'm not gonna win this argument. So you're right.
The first time I ever heard about like flat Earth theory was I came home from my apprenticeship, and my buddy Eric, I lived with my buddy Eric at the time, and he's just sitting on the couch, high as like violently high.
I think you have to be.
As you should be.
Yeah, as you should be when you're watching flat Earth videos. But he's just violently high, staring at the television, watching the shit, and I thought it was like a real documentary. So like I sit down
not in someone's basement.
Bro, listen, I sit down mid hour and a half long flat Earth documentary that he's watching, and I watched the whole thing with him.
Was it Beyond the Curve?
I don't remember. No. It wasn't the one where they debunked themselves at the end.
I watched that
like,
one.
Yeah. This was like a straight up YouTube video that he found, right? So we watched this whole video, and like I got violently high with him when I got home. So we're both violently high together, finishing off this thing, and we watched the whole thing, and I start to believe it. And then we go, and then check it. We go. He's like, "All right, we need to go to Walmart to get groceries for the house." I'm like, "Say less. Let's go. Get in the car." So I'm walking out to the car, and I'm looking at the sky, and I'm like, "This fucking shit's fake as fuck. None of this is fucking real. The fucking Earth is rotating above me."
I think like Truman Show stuff. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like it's all just like one huge dome.
Yeah, dude.
They had that Rick and Morty episode where he made like a whole universe inside of a battery, and you're just like, "Fuck, man! Yeah. Like that's totally possible, bro. That's like you can't say it's not true."
Oh man.
No, not even a little bit.
Even a little bit. No,
I just want all these. I don't really believe any of these things, but I want to so bad. Like, how much more interesting would, like, all right, so hear me out. Scientology, right?
Just stop there.
We're all on board, my friend.
Listen, I'm not going to lose any of you. Listen,
whatever.
I'm not saying that Scientology is real, but I am saying it would be pretty cool if it was.
It's a cool idea and cool concept, man.
The story is the coolest by far.
I don't even know the story. I know it from South Park.
Dude.
That's the only story I know. Yeah, and my wife's like, "Oh, dude, John Travolta."
I was holding back on saying that because at least once a day, I look at Mike and I say, "Yo, there's a South Park episode where XYZ." He made.
I can relate to South Park
a day,
Dude,
all day, every day.
I love that shit,
dude. Whenever everything that was happening in the real world started happening in South Park, that's when it got really good.
Dude, yeah.
When Randy became the main character.
Yeah.
Is this a South Park podcast now?
This is a South Park podcast now. Welcome.
This is a Flat Earth / South Park podcast.
South Park tattoo
we
podcast.
Have 2 listeners now.
Can you grab my cigarettes for me?
Yeah, we just dropped all listeners. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. Nick's got a lighter.
They you know, I mean, super relatable though.
Yeah, I told my mom that I didn't believe in birds, and it was a joke, but she didn't like.
She like joined a support group after that. She's like, moms with sons who don't.
Come here, look at me, let me see your eyes.
She didn't say anything about it initially, but another time she was just like, "So you said something about birds that last time you were here?" And I was like, "Yeah,
Dude,
they're not real, Mom."
I like when I saw that kid was like floating around talking about all that. You know the kid, like homeboy that was doing that.
Yeah.
I fucking wanted it to be true.
Exactly.
Like the whole time I was watching it, I was like, this is like a fucking, like, it's like when like something's like, again, it's just like the music we were talking about. It's so ironic. You joke about it.
Yeah.
And then it like at some point you're going to be like, man, I kind of fucking hope that this happens.
I'm so lost in my irony at this point, dude. Like, I genuinely hope that birds aren't real. And then while we're on the subject of irony, have you listened to the opening of that new Nickelback song? It's fucking heavy.
I haven't listened to it, but we can link it below for everybody else to listen to it. It's actually heavy.
I put it on as a joke, and I was like, this shit rides.
Really? Isn't that such a like, man, this is gonna be so funny. It's like,
but now I play stuff like that all the time, just like, haha, isn't it so funny? But like in my head, I'm just like, this shit's so.
Am I getting older?
Dude, crossfade?
Yeah, dude.
Crossfade. Looking back at me. We do, dude.
Yeah, we do that shit.
Oh my god.
What was it? Who was homeboy that did the fucking video where he's like, I think it was like Nickelback was playing. He's like tattooing, and then it's like the song starts and he like turns.
Oh,
Creed.
Yeah,
it was Creed.
Yeah, we can talk about Creed too.
Oh man.
Man.
You know, we can talk about this. Is like, you know, you've traveled and tattooed a little bit, right?
Yeah,
you've gone to different shops.
Yeah.
Every shop you go to, there's a dude who's a little bit messier than everyone else, i.e. Nick, and then there's one dude who listens to fucking Tool nonstop. And like, I don't have a huge problem with Tool. It doesn't really bother me. But every fucking tattoo shop I've ever worked at or guest spotted at,
he's usually in his early 40s.
And Tool guy, it's either, if there's not a Tool guy, there's a Marilyn Manson dude. And they're the same person.
I would rather the Tool guy.
Yeah, I like Marilyn Manson way.
Yeah. I don't mind Tool either. It's just, I don't mind Tool. I like Tool. It's the same thing with Rick and Morty fans. It's the fan base.
Fan base, man.
The fan base
rules everything.
Yeah.
Sublime fans are the same way.
Oh,
you guys are ruined Sublime.
White guys with dreadlocks.
That's it.
Wearing rugs as jackets and shit, man.
Dude, he was, I was talking
You're
about
so stinky.
Dude, earlier today, I was like, I might just fucking, maybe one day I'll live in a van. And they're both
dude, we're like, dude, Robbie, I love you so fucking much.
Buy patchouli deodorant, you fucking loser.
We're like, yo, this can't happen, man. Seriously.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I hope you're not serious.
I'm not living in a van anytime soon.
Don't never say never.
I'm not gonna say never, but I mean there might be a time, but I won't be wearing patchouli deodorant when that happens. I won't be wearing any deodorant, and I'll have dreads by then.
You have to wear like the aluminum free, like the hand.
Yeah. Sunflower made this deodorant.
It's made out of tree bark.
Her name is Sunflower.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna hit every music festival on the East Coast, dude. It's going down. Welcome back, everyone. We're fresh off a break, and Cody was talking about some tattoos that he has that he did.
Oh, buddy.
100 years ago, probably.
The one that you guys spotted. I was
We're just broing out about some Ninja Turtles for a second, you know.
Man. So I told
go on,
I'm trying to remember where to start with this one, dude. This is a wild one. So I had started getting tattooed when I was 16. I knew I wanted to be a tattooer pretty fast. I started hanging out with this one dude. Didn't really work out. He gave me a bunch of tattoos, so I was like, I'm gonna go hang out with this dude now or whatever. And he had owned he was a scratcher that owned a tattoo shop. Again, like we were talking about earlier.
Yes, we were.
We'll circle back on that as well.
I did not know the difference.
Oh yeah, no.
This dude's got his name on a building and he's making tats.
Sure.
Yep.
So I was hanging out with this dude. He hired me as an actual apprentice. But he was charging me, which, as we also talked about.
How much were you paying, if you remember?
I was giving him what I could make whenever I made it. So this dude was just cut the bottom of my pockets out and just connected his to them.
Yeah.
I was 19 years old. Yeah. So he had owned this tattoo shop, and he also owned a strip club on the corner of Bird and Waters. If you're familiar with Tampa, you know that's not the best place to be.
Yeah, that's not tight.
That's not very tight.
Yeah.
So he owned a strip club there, and he would do tattoos out there, and I went with him one time, and I would bounce at the strip club that he owned.
Fuck yeah.
And to make money.
To give to him.
So
he was pimping you out.
He was pimping me out, real.
That's tight. Okay.
It was pretty
Sometimes
rough.
It'd be like that.
Yeah. And he was doing tattoos in the back on these strippers in between like their dances or whatever.
Nice.
And
which is so awesome. That is fucking
I need to reiterate that this is the corner of Bird and Waters just to set the stage.
Just so you know where
a little bit more.
Where Carol Baskin met her husband.
So I was like, yo, I want to do a tattoo, and he's just like, so tattoo yourself. And so I don't do this anymore, but I may have done a lot of cocaine that night.
Yeah.
I was 19.
You were ready to go.
I was 19 and I was ready to go, bro.
Yeah.
So
Jacked
he was
up.
like, tattoo yourself. And this was just a drawing that I had like lying around in my book at the time. So I was like, I'm going to tattoo this, and I'm going to do my entire shin.
Fuck yeah.
From my ankle to my knee. This Ninja Turtle.
Michelangelo.
Skateboarding over a sewer grate that has Raphael. And it says, live to get radical.
Which is a perfect depiction of who you are as a person.
I think so.
Opinion.
Dude,
I think so.
Still rad.
I think it's cool. Yeah. I think it's not maybe the cocaine gave you a little bit of courage that night, but that is a lot to take on for someone who doesn't know shit.
I started that tattoo at 9:00 and I finished at 6 a.m.
Fuck yeah, dude! Hell yeah!
Yeah,
that's
dedicated, man.
Yeah, that's rad. I think you told me that at the Tampa convention. I think we were talking about that. Yeah,
it's like the only cool story I have.
Yeah, right. I have 3. I've already done 2, so this is the last one.
I only have 3. So, dude, I was at that guest spot at Captured Tattoo, and if you don't know, the people that work there is Dan Smith, Sean Topper, and Chris Astrologo.
If you don't know, now you know.
I had maybe I had told the tattoo about the time I got tattooed by Shige twice, and then Sean called me out on it, and I was just like, oh yeah, I went to go get tattooed by Shige, and he's like, yep, and it was the wrong Shige, right? It was not the Shige you thought it was, and I was like, oh, cool, sorry, dude.
So why don't you rip that story, because
three stories.
I've met Shige before, but which Shige did you meet?
Brad Fink's friend.
Okay.
I think he's Hori Shige.
Yes.
So me and Joe both thought that we were getting tattooed by Shige Yellowblaze.
Yes. Which is the Shige that I met.
Yeah. And we just got there, and it was totally different Shige. I was I was still pumped to get tattooed though, because like I had been tattooed by Brad already, and it was Brad's friend, and it was all Tabori. I was excited, dude. And he didn't really speak a lot of English. And he's doing this Hoju. And he's just like, what colors do you want? That's pretty much the only English that he knew. And I was like, just anything but purple. And all he heard was purple, and he pours out a fat cap of purple and starts drilling some purple into my arm.
Yeah, dude.
And then I'm just like,
and you're like, well, this is Shige. I can't tell him.
Yeah,
no.
I'm not gonna change it.
I love it.
Yeah. Now I love purple. Man. At the time, I was very anti-purple.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I was telling that story twice over at Captured, and Sean was just like, yep, it was the wrong Shige. Yeah. Damn, my bad, dude.
Yeah. I feel like I keep like reiterating going to London on the podcast too. I'm like, yeah, I've been to London before. I'm like, just shut up. Like, you went to one convention. Shut the fuck up. It was cool though, man. It was my first time going overseas, so I keep fucking bringing it up.
I still have not gotten to do that, so that's cooler than anything.
Just get a credit card, man. It's super easy when you have a credit card.
Still don't have a credit card either.
You're a tattooer, man. You're a real tattooer if you don't have a credit card.
Nope, got that cash.
Honestly,
I
I'm
can't
terrified.
I pay FPL and cash. I pay for my...
If I can't buy it outright right now, I'm not buying it.
It's smart. Yeah, it's really smart. It's really smart.
Typically, you usually get a better deal.
Whenever I was 18, I tried to apply for a bunch of credit cards because nobody told me how credit worked. So
yeah.
So I'm like, I'm in my first apartment or whatever, and I'm just like, I'm gonna be an adult. I'm gonna give myself a credit card. And I'm just like, oh, this one's declined. Let's try another one. So I did like
47 of them.
I did like 5 credit cards, and they were all declined. I was just like, how does anybody even get a credit card, dude? So yeah, to this day, I still don't have a credit card.
Man. Yeah.
Likewise.
You know, I started getting them, and then I was super reckless with them.
Yeah.
And like I went to fucking London, and I put everything on a credit card, and then I come home and I'm like, I owe $4,000 for this trip to and then
sweet
had to pay that. But obviously I'm making tattooer money, so I just like put extra money aside to pay for it. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing okay, but like, dude, I could see how somebody could get fucked with those. Like,
I have like no self-control. And the little bit of self-control I have, I kind of rely on my spouse to like level me out.
Back.
But yo, she's super cool. She doesn't tell me not to do anything. I'm just like, you're gonna have to put a tighter grip on me.
Yeah, you need
to.
If you let me roll wild with it, I'm gonna come home with some new machines.
I'm gonna go buy some new machines. Like I was just at Lucky's the other day, and I went out there just to grab tubes and needles, like just to hang out and check out the new museum, which I thought was open, and it's not, but it will be open soon. But anyway, I'm up there and like I'm hanging out with Skylar. I buy my tubes and shit. I'm like, you guys got any fucking machines in the back? I think I want to buy. And then Jimmy's there, obviously. He's like, oh, I got this. And like the gal took me through, and I looked at all the other ones. I'm like, standing there, and I'm like, dude, I would drop $600 right now. Like, all right, I'm gonna walk away from this. Like, I could, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, like so. She's super cool. And just the other day, whenever Shag posted that he was doing that special or whatever, I was talking to Susie Morris. She owns the shop that my girl works at. And she had taken advantage of it. She's just like, I just got another Shag. I got the one this time. And I texted her. I was just like, man, I fucking hate Susie.
Yeah.
She did.
Fuck Susie. She went and bought that machine.
I texted Jess. I was like, yo, fuck Susie. Tell Susie I said that next time I see her.
Yeah. Right.
And she's like, wow. I was like, oh, she got a new machine. Mine's been acting kind of funny lately. I really want to get one, but I shouldn't, right? Because she's pregnant. Right. She's pregnant. She's 6 months pregnant. I'm just like, I shouldn't buy this machine, right? Just tell me no. And she's just like, oh, well, if you like the way your tats look, whenever you make it,
yeah, that's how my girl is too. She's like, oh, like when I bought a new Dan Cuban, and they're like fucking $800.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, yeah, well, it's for work, right? And
it's for work.
I'm like, oh, cool.
She says the same thing. Yeah. I'm just like, you're not going to tell me not to do it. You're not going to even like put like a little finger on me.
Try.
Yeah, you're not even going to try.
I do always have like almost immediate like buyer's remorse when I like splurge on a machine that I absolutely do not fucking need. Yeah. I'm just like a collector though. Like, I mean, we were talking about that earlier and stuff, and I reached out like Marv Learning, which is still, that was fucking 8 years ago, and still one of my favorite, like still to this day, a daily liner. But like Chris Smith and Mario Dessa. I mean, I don't need those. I don't need those. But you were talking about selling machines, and I
regret every machine I've ever sold.
I will not sell a machine for cash. I will absolutely trade. I will never sell something outright.
Cash is stupid.
You know?
We make that every day. I want a machine.
It was an investment to me originally.
I want the machine, and I don't want to spend dollar monies on it. I just you take this one.
Plethora you could choose from, but I want that.
Yeah, you take this one. I'll take that one.
Yeah. I like when like my favorite is when the tat gear for sale is cool. But, like, I really like when the friends post some shit up. Like, before it hits tattoo gear, they're like, hey, I'm looking to get rid of these. Like, Graham posted. So Nick had bought a Mad Bee from Chris Smith. And then the next day that he came over to me, he's like showing off. He's
like, did I? No, I didn't need it.
He's like, check out what I picked up. And then Graham posted one for sale the very next day for $300. And I was like...
And I just paid $550.
I fucking hit Graham and I'm like, bro, I'll buy that shit off you right now. Sent him the Venmo, and then I was like, yo, Nick, look what I just got. And like, same shit. You know
and it's a hitter, and it's great, man. You know, but
it's I love that though.
But I like the connection though, reaching out to some like a builder, like personally, specifically. And
I'm always super impressed at like just. When a tattooer like interacts with another tattooer, and it's a good experience. I mean, sometimes it's not a good experience, but I'm surprised and not surprised at the same time whenever I see the level of hospitality one tattooer will show another tattooer. Like whenever I started getting tattooed by Devin, when Devin Burnett started my back, well, actually he had tattooed this on me first. That was the first time that I met him.
That's righteous.
That's super rad.
Yeah, this was the first time I met him, and we were on vacation up there, and I had just, he knew I was a tattooer because he messaged me on Instagram about the tattoo. But he was super nice to me or whatever. You know, we went the extra mile, and like, and then now whenever I go to get tattooed by him or whatever, like, he lets me stay at his house. You know, I mean, like, I'm sure I'm not gonna. If anybody's tattooed by Devin, he's probably not going to invite you to stay at his house.
Right.
That's not an everybody
thing. But it's a hospitality sort of thing, something you show another tattoo, a sign of respect, and just, a way to just make tattooing a better place.
Yeah. I think that also, like, with you traveling, like, I've done a handful of, like, guest spots around, and just, like, my favorite is guest spotting around here. Like, just hitting somebody up like that I could easily just drive to. Dude, I love that. And, like, just going up to hang out at Kerwin's shop. Like, I mean, he was here for the podcast. He joined us. Like, John, I was excited to work with John for a day or two. And John even came in on his day off to hang out on Saturday.
Yeah, he's super cool.
It was really cool. And, like, like, hanging out and meeting them, like, and, I mean, they were super sweet the whole time. Like, Sean's like, I'm sorry, there's not a whole lot of walk-ins around here, but, like, whatever. And I booked shit, and I was fine. But, like, it was just a cool experience. Like, even if I would have went there and did absolutely no tattoos, like, I would have still had fun. It didn't matter to me to, like, have to go there and rake in cash. Like, I just want to experience being in someone else's space.
Well, it's also different, though, when, you got, flight, plane tickets, and a week of a hotel and stuff, and you... don't do shit, and you did two like small ass walk-ins. Like, sweet, man, this was awesome.
I just did the most expensive guest spot that I've done so far, and I made nothing.
Yeah, but you made a whole lot of it. Like, you made a whole lot of
great
impact
experience
for yourself.
Great experience. I got to meet some really great people. I got tattooed by somebody I really admire. I only did like 2 small tattoos, but one of those tattoos, there was another tattooer that lived 3 hours away that drove through a closed freeway to come get tattooed by me. Which I think is fucking... Shout out to Greg Fiddler. That dude is a new tattooer, and he's doing really great, and he did that for me. And I thought it was fucking incredible, dude. Like, the hospitality that one tattooer will show another tattooer is incredible. For sure. And while I was there, I just... the apprentice over at Captured Tattoo had like some cool tattoos. I was like, who did that? And he's like, oh, Mark Nava did this.
Oh, sick. And Mark Nava's rad, dude.
Yeah, and then he had another tattoo up here, and I was like, yo, who did that gap filler up there? He goes, Mark Nava did this. Dude. And I was like, yo, is Mark Nava like around here? And he's like, that motherfucker works right there. And I was like, yeah, dude, he like worked right down the street. So I'm getting my second foot tattooed by Chris. We had just finished my first one, ripped into the second one immediately. Back. I'm not having a good time.
No.
And I'm talking to their apprentice about Mark or whatever, and I'm just like, I'm gonna fucking email this guy. I'm gonna try to get tattooed by Mark Nava.
You can get in with him quick.
It's like, walk over.
That dude's like booked out for like a year long, and he emailed me back, and he was just like, yo, man, I don't have time, but I will tattoo you on Monday. Can you come in on Monday? And that was the day that I was leaving. And I was just like, dude, you don't know me at all.
Yeah.
You just know
Did you
that
push your flight back and get tattooed or no?
I really wanted to,
Oh,
man.
dude,
Oh,
come
bonus.
on. My buddy has this fucking
Can you just
stomach-
edit it to where I said that I did? And like, can you like put a Martin
so
tattoo
we'll
on
just
me?
fucking put it on you. Dude, my
No.
buddy
I
Cam,
thought
he
for
got
sure
a...
he was gonna say that.
Yeah, right?
No.
My buddy Cam, I started his back, and I haven't been back to Los Angeles to finish it, but like Mark did a fucking Hanya mask, like spider on his fucking front.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good.
He's insane,
it's
dude.
so good.
But the fact that this dude was willing to just like, yo, I don't have time, but you're another tattooer, and I'll take care of you.
Yeah, dude.
I'll take care of you.
That's
For sure,
That was
man.
dope.
Yeah.
That shit means the world to me personally.
Yeah, I love that. I love.
How'd you get hooked up with the cats that captured? Just like reached out to him, or?
Yeah, man. I have no issues like reaching out with people about doing death spots. I know some people are like, nah, I only want to do death spots that I get invited to, which I understand that as well. But I mean, with that, you know, you're probably not going to do a lot of death spots then.
Yeah.
You know, like I've gotten to work with some really cool people in my very short career. I've gotten to tattoo at Empire Tattoo, which is a world famous shop.
For sure.
I believe Timothy Hoyer worked there at one point. And Devin Burnett works there. Ryan Fink works there.
Yep.
Devin Ray was working there at the time. Really, really great tattooers. And granted, I did set that one up in a little more linear fashion. I got tattooed by Devin a couple times, and I kind of like baited him into inviting me. But
Sometimes you got to do that,
Yeah.
man. Like that's sometimes the way to go. You
but
know?
worked.
with Captured, Sean had liked a couple of my photos or something like that, and that was huge for me. I was just like, yo, this is fucking Sean Topper liking
Topper,
one of my
dude.
photos.
Yeah.
And he posted just a video of them in the shop, and I like responded to it, and I was just like, you know, a bunch of solid dudes like would love to come tattoo with you guys sometimes. And that can either go one of two ways. That can be like, yeah, maybe one day, or it can be what he said, and he was just like, do it.
Do it, yeah.
And
Put 'em out.
that's all I needed. And then I was just like, man, that's awesome. Thank you for that. You know, I'll keep that in mind. And 2 days later, Dan Smith messages me, and he's just like, yo, Sean told me that you were interested in death spotting. Let me know if you need any help with something.
See, like,
Yeah.
But then you realize it's just a room full of dudes who are making, or gals, like humans that are just
Yeah.
making
Right.
tattoos.
I
You know
love
what mean?
realizing that too. Whenever like, so I didn't know that Dan Smith was on TV at all.
I don't know that either.
I didn't know that at all. I just know
Yeah.
him as a tatter, dude. And
Yeah.
and I know the guys.
I
in
know
the
him from
shop
The Good Book,
as
dude.
just
I've known him from tattooing. My
Yeah.
wife was showing me.
I found
this.
out
It's
while
like,
I was
the
there
fuck?
at
Yeah.
dinner with them that he was on TV.
What TV show?
He was on LA Inc.
He was on LA.
He was on LA Inc. And they're talking about it during dinner. I was just like,
That shop
You were on
that was
you were
on
on TV?
LA Inc. was right around the
Yeah.
corner from my house.
Really?
And yeah. So
Yeah.
like when I lived out there, I was like, it's like Fountain and La Brea is right there, and like down the street is where I lived.
nice.
And I would walk past it to go to Ralph's every day.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I first moved there, I was like, I should go apply there and just see what's up. And I had
Yeah.
no idea what tattoos were being done in there.
Yeah.
So I like walked in just for the hell of it to see what it was all about. And it was just all like, just,
yeah.
you know, nose in the air, realism cats. And I was
Sure.
like, I'm cool, dude. I'm not even going to ask for a job. Like I looked through some portfolios, like, I'm going to fuck off. Like I don't belong here. But that area is crazy too. But that's rad that he was on the show. That's
Dude,
nuts.
and he's also one of the nicest dudes I've ever met.
Really?
Like,
You can
so
totally tell,
I've
yeah.
and I don't mean to discredit anybody else that I've gotten to work with, because I've gotten to work with Mike Chambers, who was super nice to me.
Did you work at him in Philly or in Asheville?
Asheville?
Sick.
Yeah, the first
Sick.
time I did a death spot at Empire, I also did an additional 2 days at Seven Swords.
Yeah.
And that was awesome.
Every time I see that he's hiring, I'm like, move to Asheville right now, dude.
Yeah.
I'll fucking hit him up.
They got a nice shop over there, dude, and I actually met those dudes at the Explorer conference. I don't know if you're aware of what that was, but I went there, and then I met Ray Griggs, who was one of his guys over there, and him and Mike were super nice to me, and they actually invited me while we were out there. You know, if you ever want to come tattoo with us or whatever, hit us up.
That's so sick.
So
yeah, that's what we were talking about in a couple episodes. It's like how important seminars are. Like when I went to, I didn't get to go to the Explorer seminar, but I went to the Evergreen seminar, which was really nice. It was like Josh Carlton, Teresa Sharp. Like,
yeah,
you know.
Teresa Sharp was at the one that I was at too.
Yeah, Teresa Sharp,
It
Mike
was
Chambers, Peter Lagergren wasn't there, but Peter Lagergren went to the one that you went to. The
no, so mine was Dan Pimble.
Dan Pimble's
that was
sick,
the
too.
reason that I went there.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to say anything like bad about the Explorer conference, but I literally only went there to hear Dan Pimble specifically talk. And by the time I had done paid like the ticket and the room and board and the whole weekend or whatever, I was like, man, I could have just gotten tattooed by Dan.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
so there's that, but I did learn a lot. I mean, like, I was back in school for a couple days. I was taking notes on my little iPad or whatever. I still have the notes, you know.
I did.
So
I brought
it wasn't time wasted
for
sure.
I brought a fucking real like lined notebook and
I
wrote all my notes down
with your little big pen. You got your multiple color gel pens.
I had my gel pen. I went to the Evergreen just to hear Mike and Teresa talk. Like that was it. And
Teresa's seminar was really great.
Yeah, Liz Cook did one, dude.
Liz Cook was at ours too.
Like the way that she talks about value is insane. We won't go too far into that, though.
Yeah, Liz Cook was at ours too, and I liked Teresa Sharp. She was very anti-iPad, which I am not anti or pro iPad, but I do love that she was using. Man, I try not to have too many opinions on stuff like that.
I got one where I was like, Cody Martin's like on his Instagram, and he's like, how to be good at art, and then throws his iPad in the trash. And I saw that, and I was like, Cody, relax. It was like, there was a part of me where I was like, you're not wrong, but fuck off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not pro or anti-iPad, and I've gotten a lot better about posting opinions on the internet because nobody really cares about them.
Well, but you're not wrong, though. I mean, it is a crutch. It is like there's a lot about the iPad that is detrimental.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we're talking iPads, homie.
But I think it was Euless Blair that posted just the other day, just like, I don't hate iPads, but if you only use one thing, then it's a crutch and not a tool.
It's very true.
Yeah.
See, I have adapted, shouts out to Sean Kerwin, I've adapted his approach to the iPad on mine, and I learned that you can turn off the screen touch. So you can just, I'll fucking show you.
Turn off the screen touch.
So what you can do is like, you do your sketch on your iPad.
Yeah.
Put a piece of tracing paper over it, put some tape.
Oh, yeah.
And it won't like wiggle around.
It won't do nothing.
Yeah.
Like it's just like turns off the touch.
Yeah.
And that's
the
what I've been doing.
Guided
access. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I've always, if I draw something on the iPad, I'm not gonna say always because then my homies are gonna call me out. I try
when I do a digital
really
painting.
Motherfucker,
bro. I am the worst at overdrawing every design that I've ever
I can tell
drawn.
by your tattoos.
You know the old saying, like, if you can't tie a knot, then tie a lot.
Yeah,
I can't draw, so I just be drawing a lot. You know, so
I can't draw, so I just overdraw everything.
Yeah, I can't draw, so I overdraw. But
man.
I try to be somewhat in the habit of if I draw something on the iPad, it at least has to hit paper. You know, that way because you're going to find out a lot of stuff that isn't going to work that way. And you're also going to put your hand back to it. It's going to have a little bit more of a human feel, which is good. But even whenever I put stuff on the iPad, or even whenever I draw stuff on the iPad and then put it on paper, like I trace with my hand, I still pack too much shit in there. Like, I remember my homies came up to me one time while I was doing an alligator, and I did...
Alligators are fucking tough.
They're not easy.
I did some great, like... I definitely didn't invent it. I'm sure I stole it from Dean Denny or something like that. But I did scales all up along the side of this alligator, and it was like 1,000 fucking lines, dude. 1,000 straight parallel lines, and that's what I did. I did like a kind of crosshatch parallel line that way and that way and that way, and then I got really deep in there and like kind of inward tapered just a little bit of the line. And my friends are looking at the stencil and they're just like, you're not going to do all those lines, are you? And I was like, no, I'll probably simplify it. And then I tattooed every line in the line in the
6
tattoo.
hours for line.
Dude, if anybody's a slow tattooer, it's me for sure.
Yeah.
I'm super
it's
slow.
good, man. That's not like
I'm trying so hard to slow the fuck down.
I tried to speed up for a while and I hated every time.
We're talking about efficiency is what matters. So if you're not just sitting there overworking the piss out of somebody and going slow, that's way different than taking your time and being diligent.
And that's exactly what was stamped into my mind was like overworking. Seeing you're like, what are you doing dragging that? Like, come on, like in and out. And you know, very old school dude.
That kind of goes back to what I was talking about, how I don't really charge people a ton of money for their tattoos either, because you know, I've been tattooing for 3 years now, and it's not your fault that I'm still figuring this out as much as I am. You know, if I've been tattooing for 10 years and, you know, I put the same amount of attention into a tattoo, chances are I'm putting 10 years worth of knowledge into this tattoo, and that's why you're here for 6 hours. Yeah. But I've been tattooing for 3 years. So the 6 hours is accompanied by me having a fucking panic attack the whole time.
Well, you're also learning, and you're adapting.
That's so respectable, but like, you know,
but that's
seeing
good.
your
Is that
Instagram.
moving?
Huh?
Is that going? Oh, it's
yeah, it's going.
your buffer.
This is
freaking me out.
This is tripping you out? I can turn it a little bit.
No. I was just making sure
it's Cubase does this thing where it just doesn't show you the waveform where you're recording, so it just does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you make
weird. You make like some really cool music. I found. I stumbled upon your page. Are we allowed to talk about that on the internet,
sure,
or do you not want to talk about it?
No,
dude. Everything that you use on there looks really expensive, and I know nothing about it.
Yeah.
It looks cool. It's like modulators, right?
It's a modular synthesizer.
That's super cool.
It's the most expensive way to make music that nobody wants to hear.
That's it's a fair way to say it.
It's pretty fucking whack.
I think it's cool. I think it's rad. It reminds me of when I used to make music and I could like plug different things into a monitor on Reason. Like you could flip the cabinet over and plug stuff.
Yeah, it's the long way around for most things. Most like synthesizers and stuff have like pre-routed boards. Everything is just touch and go.
Yeah.
But modular is the process of patching to all those easily accessible things and making it a lot more difficult.
So it sounds like you're super into overcomplicating things all the time.
Yeah, that's what we're gathering here today.
Pretty much my MO.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit before. Like I'm attracted to the more obscure things. Like if there's the path that everybody's traveling right here, I want to see what's going down this path.
Yeah.
And I tattooed a dude named Josh Couture, who is a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and he just so happened to be our friend, thank God, because he would rip my head off my fucking shoulders if he wasn't. But I was tattooing his hand, and we were just talking about working out. This dude's shoulders are behind his ear. Mm-hmm. And he's just like, whatever you do, man, just do it. Make sure it's hard.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, just make sure it's hard, because there's going to be 10 times more growth down the hard path.
Yeah.
And it's the same whenever it comes to using exclusively like rotary pins and exclusively iPads. Not that there's anything wrong with any of those things, but like we were saying, whenever you only use one tool, it becomes a crutch and it's not a tool anymore. Sure. Mm-hmm. And the convenience of the iPad, the convenience of the rotary pin, and the convenience of this, these are all the easy routes. And then if you take the hard route, you're probably going to learn a lot more. Mm-hmm. You're going to learn a lot more about yourself. You're going to learn a lot more about what you want to do, and you're probably going to make a better product. And whenever the hard stuff keeps coming, whenever you're faced with another hard tattoo that you have to do, you're a little more prepared than you were than if you took the easy route the first time you had to do it.
No, it's completely true. Yeah. And I can understand why people would be like, oh, like, why not choose the route of convenience? It's like, well, you're more than welcome to. Yeah. Like, whenever I say, like, I don't dig those pens, and people are like, well, people do great tattoos with pens. I'm like, congratulations. Yeah. Like, I just personally don't connect with it. You know what I mean? Sure. Will I use one? Absolutely. Yeah. Like, will that be the only tool that I ever use ever again for the rest of my career? Absolutely not.
Yeah. But that being said, though, I've lived like that most of my life, even like machine building and stuff. My first 3 years of tattooing and stuff, that we had a Thermafx, and I refused to use it. I just. It's just stamped in my mind. The more times I draw it, it's
the better it's going to get.
You know what I mean? And I refused to use it for whatever reason. Maybe it made me, probably not. I don't think it maybe. I'd like to think it maybe did, but I just don't like relying on it. Or you'll never when that Thermafx breaks. Like, fuck, now what do we do?
I can't do a tattoo.
Yeah, now your fucking lathe broke or something. Like, I can make a lathe out of a drill. Yeah. Get crafty,
Too many people, like,
just don't know what to do when all this so tech crashes and stuff. And I just want to appreciate the tech.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the hard route.
Yeah,
right.
Well, also, likewise. Like the other day, it's very nice that I work around these cats because they fucking know the old shit that I like, and I'm very new in the tattoo world. So like, I'm still like reaching backwards. I made a very big point of learning how to make pigment. You know what I mean? And I wanted to understand how that was because that wasn't part of my apprenticeship. And then now I just recently purchased a bunch of needle making stuff.
He came in.
Dude, I was like, "What's up, dog? Check out what I got."
Needle jigs and stuff.
He shows me everything. He's
that's
like,
cool, man.
Like, I got your shit. You know what I mean?
Dude,
but
scratch it off your list.
For me, it's like, I want to make a gang of needles that I'm actually going to tattoo with. Absolutely not. No. Like, I'm not going to sit down.
But
and
I
want to
know how to do it,
just in case. And when I ever teach somebody how to do this, I know every facet of what I'm talking about. Right. I'm not just a dipshit who just. I make art on TikTok and I tattoo it on people. Like, I don't want to be that guy. You know what I mean?
And, there's something... I try not to have too many opinions, but I do have a really strong opinion about this. I get if somebody doesn't like traditional tattoos, if they don't like the way they look, they don't want to do traditional tattoos, that's fine. If you don't like Jerry tattoos, that's fine. If you don't like Hardy tattoos, that's fine. I don't get it. Hardy rules.
I don't understand either. Nick's anti-Hardy, by the way.
But what I don't understand and what I refuse to understand is the lack of desire of knowing where all this comes from. Like, you don't care at all to know where this, because okay, so tattooing goes as far as the Iceman, right? That was the first known.
So a good long time.
A good long time. So
a good little while.
So I agree that tattoos have been around outside of Sailor Jerry and Ed Hardy. However, modern tattooing was brought into light by Sailor Jerry and Ed Hardy. And you're going to make a buck off of this, and you're not going to give a fuck about where it came from. You're here to take from tattooing. You're not here to give to tattooing.
Right.
I don't think that's right. I don't think it's so. It's one thing if you don't know. I have plenty of friends that don't know, but I have zero friends that have no desire to know.
Yes,
absolutely.
And I won't.
Well, also like I've leaned really hard into like I think that's why I am really like driven by the work that you do, because you're really running your hand through everything you're doing. You're really sitting down and drawing it. Yeah. And like in the last year and a half, I've been really leaning into Picture Machine, and I've been really leaning into like, you know, old Spalding Flash and like old Bowery Flash and like all these things. And like, granted, can I draw these things? Yeah. Yes, I am more than capable of drawing a crawling panther. Would I gain a whole lot drawing a crawling panther for every client that I do one on? Absolutely. But like sometimes I just like ripping a fucking tattoo. Yeah. And like I don't think
this one works.
Yeah,
like,
like this one works. This one's great, you know. And but also like I guess I have these moments where I feel like I'm not an artist anymore. Yeah. Because I've crutched myself on again. If you do something and it's the only thing you do for a long time, it becomes a crutch. And like Flash has become one of those things for me.
But
like,
you thoroughly understand it and thoroughly comprehend it.
And it's like, would I like to excel my abilities as an artist? Absolutely. Am I comfortable and having a great time with what I'm doing right now? Yeah. Am I plateauing and getting worse at tattooing? Absolutely not. I'm still applying good tattoos. Right. But I just think that it's nice to have a 20-something come in and be like, and I can be like, hey, this was done when your parents were kids or were teenagers, you know?
And he gets that tattoo because his uncle has it.
Because his uncle has it. Yeah, it's like for the same reason that I got the tattoo, because my grandfather had it.
Exactly. You know, and this is going to look the same way when you're 106.
Yeah, and you know how that looks on your uncle? That's
look at your fucking uncle, bro. That's what it's going to look like.
But I did it with a 9 instead of an 8 like your uncle got. You know? But also like leaning into like, again, like I've been loose 9, loose 11 for like the last 2 years, and like hanging around Sean, hanging around Heather, hanging around people like you, like it gets me like, maybe I should strip it back a little bit. Maybe I should use an 8. Maybe I should use a 7. Maybe I, you know, or maybe I should start making my line work on paper again instead of just ripping out the iPad. Like, I think the biggest thing for me starting the podcast was that like I want to meet so many other people, so I can not only help other people that listen to it if they even gather information from it, but also help myself. You know what I mean? I have the now ability to kind of pick your brain a little bit on and off camera. Yeah. You know, or you know, Heather's brain or Kerwin's brain.
I also love that we're like bringing this like Southwest, like Tampa, like big hitters in like a group. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's like we're and which is rad. You know what I mean?
Well, people that and that's the thing is like Skylar, for example. Like there are so many tattooers that have lesser. Well, I don't want to say that. Tattooers that deserve it. No, fuck. I can't even say that either. Fuck. Skylar deserves more than what he gets on the internet, in my opinion. I think his artistic abilities and his application. Yeah. But the internet doesn't really give. Like I have more than what he has on the internet. Yeah. Big quotations, and like I wanted him to be on here so I could be like, guys, look at this. This is what was inspiring for me at one point, and like, you know, he doesn't necessarily get that sometimes, or like, you know. Sean or well, I mean Heather has a huge following, but like Sean, for example, like Sean has just been sitting in Tampa killing it for so long. Yeah. And like I feel like sometimes people don't catch it. He's just cool. Like he's just hanging out. You know?
John too though.
John too. I mean, it's just cool, man. It's cool that there's so many people within arm's reach of us that are also so receptive to just hanging out. And that was the biggest, coolest thing about doing this, you know?
Yeah, tattoos are a little bit kind of like pop music in the sense that like most people are looking for what's the most easily digestible for them. And whenever it comes to Skylar's tattoos, they're not something that you... I love Skylar's tattoos. Skylar did the whole backside of my right leg, but it's not something that most people are going to look at and be like, oh, I want a tattoo like that. Right. And you're gonna get more tattoo. You're gonna get more tattoo collectors. You're gonna get more other tattooers getting those tattoos. So I don't think there's anything wrong with Flash. I love Flash, and I love that American traditional flash is as popular as it is now, because just average people are getting American traditional tattoos now. I definitely have different goals in that sense. I try to push myself a little in the same direction as Skylar does, where whenever you look at it, you're just like, this is fucking weird, dude. You know, like this is funky. I don't even really know what I'm looking at a little bit, you know. And with that comes a little bit of slowness, you know, because like, and you're gonna, you know, and the people who are emailing, you're gonna be like, yo, can you do this trad panther on me? You know,
yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'll do a trad panther on you. Can it be a side? No, it can't be a sideboard. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Got it.
But I also like I think that it's nice, like when you see someone like Chaz, for example, like a lot of his stuff is rooted in Flash, but he's just kind of made it more modern, and we talked about that as like that is minimal. It's stuff. Still you got some from him? I got some.
I got a Chaz.
We'll compare tats here in a minute.
Actually, Chaz did both sides of my neck, and he did this.
Oh shit!
This is the first time he did something gold
drip, baby.
Yeah, and as he was tattooing it, my man looks at me and he goes, "Hey man, this kind of looks like a little more like cheese or something."
Dude, he said, "That's the realest motherfucker I've ever."
Because whenever we started, he was just like, "I've never done a gold one before. We'll see how this goes."
Dude,
it kind of looks like cheese.
Yeah, I think it's cooler though.
I think
whatever,
it's dope.
man.
But yeah, I mean, like Chaz is a great example of somebody who's he's walking that line, dude. Like he has very easily digestible tattoos, and at the same time, they're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They're crazy, dude. They're cool looking. He's got this chrome thing going.
Proper.
Yeah.
Everything.
And everything's very prim on his work.
And he's open to doing whatever you ask him to, which I think is huge.
Yes.
You know, like, I don't think that you should, like, even as an elder or a new tattooer, should be turning away a ton of stuff.
No,
I mean, like, I was lucky enough that early, like, in the first couple of years of my career, people were asking me for some pretty cool stuff, so I didn't have to do a lot of the, you know, the Pinteresty tattoos or whatever. But you should still do those, because those are gonna. I was just telling our apprentice this story the other day. Okay, I still don't know how to do watercolor tattoos.
I don't either.
And you know what? At this point, fuck it. I'm not gonna learn.
I'm good.
But
there's no reason to.
But I was doing the first time I ever got to do a Namatubi, I wanted to do the blood on the face, and I'm thinking about how I could do it. I'd be like, dude, if I knew how to do watercolor tattoos right now, this blood would look sick. Yeah. But instead, I did some whack ass blood.
Yeah, but that's okay. Instead, I did some dripping blood.
I did some fucking blood drops like a scrub, dude.
Like Derek Noble. Derek Noble will get super wild, like some hardline stuff, and he'll just just whip some reds in there, maybe splashed in some green soap or something, and it's. In a sense, it totally applies one way or another, but he's just doing it way cooler. Like,
for sure.
I really loved that at one point, and not to like bash other people. Like, if you do watercolor tattoos for a living, that's awesome. I'm proud of you. But I thought it was funny that people were specializing in it for a minute. Yeah, I was like, I do nothing. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on?
Whenever I met Steve Oker, he was the watercolor guy, dude.
Yeah, dude.
He did it pretty cool too.
Yeah.
He did it pretty cool, and he seemed to enjoy it. And you know what? That's all that really matters, dude. If you're having fun and your client's getting what they want, then fuck it.
Yeah. I really respect how he does his thing now, where it's just like fucking full day or pick something out of my book. Like,
yeah, he's been tattooing for a long time.
He's very no bullshit, and that's what I respect.
I have a hard time trying to figure out when that time, you know, when the earn it thing just happened or whatever. You know, so I try to do whatever, mostly any tattoo that somebody asks me for. Yeah, I mean, I'll say no to something that's a bad idea. You know, like I don't tattoo anybody's hands, neck, or face, or unless they have like sleeves or something like that. Of course. Like I don't really care about taking your money that bad. Yeah. So you know, but anyways. Yeah, I think it's good to take on as much as you can, as much different styles as you can. And Joe was a really big leader in that for me, because I've seen him do black and gray portraits. I've seen him do really great traditional tattoos. He thrives doing traditional Japanese tattoos. He draws them all by hand. Sometimes he draws them directly on. Dude, they're great looking tattoos, and it's impossible to be lazy in that shop, because he does that every day. That's a stretch for him. He gets there. My man gets to work at 6 o'clock in the morning every day.
That's so rad.
He starts tattooing at 8 o'clock. And I'm like, dude, nobody wants to get tattooed at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, start my day off.
But he's tattooing at 8 o'clock every day.
There are people that want to get tattooed at 8 a.m.
Yeah. And I'll come downstairs, and he's just drawing this guy's sleeve on or something. Yeah. Marker to the skin. Yep. And I'm just like, how cool is it that you're so good at what you're doing that you can do that?
Yeah.
Right.
You know? And it comes from taking on as much as you can and learning as much as you can about everything that you can.
Your subject matter.
You're not pigeonholed into this like one thing. Like, of course, I want to do, you know, the things that I think are cool. I want to do like fantasy tattoos. I want to do Japanese tattoos. But, you know, there's going to be a technical proficiency in there that I'm going to miss out on if I don't take these Pinterest tattoos or whatever. I did a tight 3 on the ribs today. I shit my pants the whole time.
Oh,
but
that's awful. That's
that is going to translate to something that I'm going to do eventually.
Sure.
I'm going to be
do that again.
One day I'm going to do a bigger, cooler, like
and you're
more
gonna be
my
doing
style
like rose
tattoo.
leaves, and you're gonna be
There's
throwing
going
those
to be
little
tight 3s on those ribs, dude. It's going to happen one day.
Sure.
And the last thing that I want to do is for me to figure out how to do it on this big tattoo I'm excited about. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a fine line between like, you know, learning as you go and I mean, that's the only way to do it when you tattoo. You know what I mean? Like you literally are stuck with this plaguing feeling of like I'm figuring this out as I go every single time I pick up my tattoo machine.
Yeah.
And that's how my first 3 years were.
Yeah.
You know, I was thrown to the wolves. Like, I mean, you had like gone through essentially 2 apprenticeships, you know what I mean? And I had a very quick bullshit apprenticeship, but like I learned doing, like it was just Pinterest stuff.
Yeah.
Like they would just slide me their phone, I'd redraw it, tattoo it, and move on to the next one. You know, and I was
sometimes
doing like,
you know your early days. That's what's gonna get you by and get you to the next day to make
also
the next
that's what made me so
tattoo
proficient.
and
is
stuff,
like
you
at
know.
one point I was doing like
But
10
do it and do
tattoos
it
a
well.
day as like a second year tattooer. It was
Yeah.
like I learned how to fucking move.
Yeah.
Not only do a good tattoo, but also move people in and out the door really quick.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
taught me
That's
how to
what
be
stamped in
a
my
really
mind.
good salesman. It taught me how to be really good at customer service. It taught me how to be really understanding to like these people getting their first tattoo and knowing what that feels like. And also like getting tattooed taught me what that feels like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I know what it's like to get the front of your ribs tattooed now. You know what I mean? And that shit fucking sucks. And
shit
whenever I'm
sucks.
doing it, like I can empathize with people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have my knees tattooed, which I feel like that's what I need
so
to do
crazy.
next.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I crush people's knees and I'm like, I don't know what this feels like. I know it sucks. But
I don't know when I became the knee guy, but I do a lot of
That's
knees.
what you know.
I do
I was going to
tons
ask
of
you to
knees.
do my knee.
If you said thigh, you
I
want
know.
your knee?
I think I want to
I'll
do my
do your
knee.
knee, man.
Okay. Yeah. I'll just pick something out of your book.
I don't.
I'll pick something out of your. I'll make it fun for you so you can tattoo my knee.
No, I don't mind doing knees. It's that, man, one day I looked at my book and I had 3 knees in 1 week, and I was like, when did I become the knee guy? You know,
I did that.
You
It's
know,
such a process.
I
Plus
had-
weird skin and stuff. Though, you
I
know.
had 3 panther heads on 3 different knees in 2 weeks.
really?
Yeah, so I had to draw 3 different fucking
Yeah.
panther heads in 2 weeks. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck this, dude. Like, I feel like knees are like that though. People see them on the internet and then they're like, oh fuck yeah, I want to get my knee done. And this guy just did one, so he'll be fucking warmed up and ready to go for the next one.
right.
You know. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if there was one place that I would knees.
yeah, I don't ever want to get the knee ditches tattooed. I'm like,
You're just gonna work around it.
I think I don't know. I'll end up doing it.
Come on.
Fucking
Dude,
know.
I had Dave Brule tattoo above my knee ditch, and it
Yeah.
was just as bad as if I got my knee
Yeah.
ditch.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I think it just sucks.
Even the
everywhere.
lower part of
We
the
talked
calf
about that.
into the knee.
It do
It's
be
like,
sucking.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
we
feels
talked
like
about-
you're right in there, buddy.
love
I don't
when
know.
People are like, it doesn't hurt. I'm like, you're a fucking liar.
You're
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
bullshit.
you're a liar. You put numbing cream on.
Just
before you
hurry
got
the
here.
fuck up.
Yeah,
I-
that's what I said to Chaz. Chaz did my neck, the left side of
Yeah.
my neck, and he was like, I was like, fast and good, dude. That's it.
Isn't that what he said though when he asked you to do
And
his
that-
fit?
yeah,
Like,
because-
yeah, man, just fucking hurry up, man.
I
Get
met,
in and
the
out,
first time I
baby.
met Chaz, he was like, I was like, hey, I want to get an Ed Hardy tattoo from you, and he's like, oh, cool, like let's trade. You do an Ed Hardy tattoo on me, I'll do one on you. I was like,
Yeah.
Okay, dork. I don't know why you want to get tattooed by me. And like, so he does the burning question on my leg, and then like just straight off the page, burning question, which is exactly what I wanted. And it was nice that he didn't like Chaz out too hard on it because I wanted it pretty close.
Yeah.
And then he was like, all right, cool, I want this Bob Roberts Ed Hardy redraw. And I was like, oh, fuck you. Like, that's
Fuck
so
yeah.
fucking sick.
Fuck
Hell
yeah.
yeah. So then we fucking put the stencil on, and like I see Chaz like getting a little sweaty because I'm doing it on his foot. And I'm like, am I breaking this dude right now? Like, hell yeah, dude. Like, let's go. And then he's like, all right, dude, you got 45 minutes. Fucking crush this shit.
Yeah, Chaz hit me up about doing the side of his head.
Yeah?
He was like, I
That's
want
so
a
cool.
Panther rose morph on the side of my
Dude,
head.
that's what.
I was so stoked. I was just like, damn, dude, Chaz wants me to tattoo him. How sick
Fuck
would
yeah.
that be? He messages me a couple days ahead of time. He's like, hey, man, I got Suicide Boys tickets. Like,
Oh, that is a very Chaz way to cancel an
yeah.
appointment.
And I was just like, it's cool, man. It's cool. I wasn't super excited.
Yeah,
or
I
nothing.
understand completely, dude. Yeah. Yeah, I was really bummed. This last Tuesday, I had to cancel getting the top of my head tattooed. I was going to get it done by Steve.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out.
Do it, dude.
Yeah, I don't think I wanted to.
Chopper did my whole head. That shit's whack.
I got the back of my
I mean, the tattoo's not whack. Sorry. Tattoo's sick. Getting it done is whack.
Yeah. Now I got like this weird like reverse mullet where like the whole back of my head is tattooed and like
the
the
side. That nice hat
and I got fucking nothing. Yeah, that's why I wear a hat. Also because my hair is going away slowly.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now.
I got to get the top and the side done, and then I'm just gonna rock a bald head for a while. I mean, you were rocking a bald head for a minute. Too.
Yeah, I mean, I went through all that bullshit, dude. I was gonna rock that
you
for
better,
at least a little while, you know.
Yeah.
I looked very American History X, so I drew my hair back out.
Yeah,
so.
you're like, I gotta chill this. I gotta chill out a little bit.
Well, I didn't even want to do that much. I didn't even want to do as much of my neck that I have done, but I had gotten my whole neck tattooed when I was 20.
Fuck.
So like, and it didn't look good. So
it just wasn't cool.
It was whack, dude. I mean, so the heart that's right here, it was.
Dude, that is so Warped Tour on your neck right now.
So it was this.
You are such a piece of shit.
You're not wrong, dude. Here's where it gets really whack. I had like pencils and paintbrushes and like drumstick and stuff like coming out of the side.
Shut
it was
up.
not
That's
cool,
rad.
dude. It looked super
Yeah,
lame.
I mean, the panther head on the side.
So,
what's on the other side? Is it tiger?
Yeah,
That's cool as fuck.
Chaz
Fuck
did
yeah.
both of them. But this one's a triple cover. Which one has the panther? Which side is this?
Your left
That's
side,
the panther. That's a triple cover up because
Fuck
I had
yeah.
somebody, the dude that I was
I got a
apprenticing.
third gen.
Yeah, I got a couple layers of paint on here, dude.
Yeah.
But the person who I was apprenticing with whenever I started in St. Pete, he did this huge panther on my neck, and it didn't quite look like a panther.
It looked like a dog or something.
It just looked like my neck was blacked out.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So I went to Chaz. I was like, man, if anybody can cover a blacked out
Chaz.
neck, it's Chaz.
Yeah.
I'm confident.
And this dude just slaps a Mike Wilson panther on me, and tattoos
Dude, I love that.
tattoos my fucking neck from this side, came out of this side.
Yeah.
It was, dude, I was defeated
Yeah.
on that table. At a certain
Fuck yeah.
point, he was like, hey man, are you good? And I'm just like, just dead fished out.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
dude, whatever,
I am
just
done
fucking
here.
keep going.
Fuck, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I went back and got the other side done like an asshole.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Yeah, we keep doing it to ourselves. I'm just like, I'm embracing
Yeah.
the fact that I got a bunch of shitty tattoos now. Just
Yeah.
like whatever, all the good ones are
I
under my
stopped
clothes.
caring.
I got enough
Yeah.
cool ones around the shitty ones.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you're doing
Fair
all right.
enough.
Yeah.
You're doing all right.
I've done like.
Oh, you told me about the star, right? The
Did I
star
tell you
was.
about
I think
the
you.
star?
I think you briefly
So,
told me about the star.
This little like storm cloud that I have right here was the first time I ever held a machine.
Yeah.
And I told myself when I did it, I was like, one day I'm gonna be a professional tattooer and I'm gonna cover it up, and you know it'll be it's a cool story.
Yeah.
And whenever I became a professional tattooer, I did this really like jacked up like gold star that says "Your did it," like a
Yeah. You fucking made it, dude.
and like it didn't cover up the storm cloud at all.
Hell yeah.
And then Joe did that tattoo on me on a moving boat.
Oh, that's cool.
That's super
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And then I did this flaming bag of poop on me.
That's
This
cool.
was the one that my mom was most disappointed about.
That's the
I
one.
had
Yeah.
already tattooed my face at this point, and she was
Yeah, yeah.
she was disappointed about the flaming bag of poop.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I get it. Yeah.
Can't win them all.
Yeah.
My mother cried.
Yeah.
I showed up for like Thanksgiving. She's like, "Oh, honey, you're fucking," like grabbing me
Your
by the
face,
face.
yeah.
You're fucking
My mom gave up kind of quick, dude. As soon
Yeah.
as she found out that I was doing
Yeah.
tattoos without her permission, like I found out how to get tattooed without a consent form,
Yeah.
like I was just coming home with them. The only tattoo that I have not reworked or covered up from that time was my second tattoo ever. It's this like really jet. All of my tattoos look like this. This was
Hell yeah.
That's sick.
Tight.
so that one, yeah.
That
How
was
old is
like that was a day
So I
time
got
ago.
that tattoo when I was
16, 17?
16,
Wow.
Yeah, 16, 17.
That's wild.
And I came home with that one, and my mom had realized that I was able to get tattoos without needing her permission, and she just kind of gave up.
She's just like, whatever. You're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, she
Yeah.
was never stoked about it. Whenever I told her I was going to be a tattoo artist, she was
No.
super not excited
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, and she's cool now. You know,
Sure.
it took a lot of adjusting.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, she sees how happy it makes me, and she sees that I'm able to pay my bills and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
and you're living
with
a
it.
regular life.
And she's cool about it now, but
kinda the only thing-
my dad was just like, what if you like made T-shirts or something? You know?
Yeah, why don't you just do something? My dad actually said the same shit.
Yeah.
He's like, why are you
You-
making tattoos? You could just be making like skateboard art.
Fucking
or
yeah,
something.
yeah, like you
yeah.
draw, you can draw, like to make T-shirts or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like,
So
"Nah,
many
this is
other
it."
different
I'm good.
forms
dude.
of art.
Fuck that.
Loser.
Yeah.
Well, if you're still here, you are listening to us for 2 whole hours.
Yeah.
That
shit.
was
Yeah,
peeled
2
off
hours.
another one.
Wow.
I think I don't know. What do you guys think? You want to keep going, or you want to wind it down? I will say, the longer the episode, the less retention we get.
We can wind it down.
You can wind it down.
Yeah,
Cody.
that was fun.
Cody, where can people find you on the internet?
My Instagram is cmtattooer, Cody Martin tattooer.
Yep.
And I work at Hawks Tattoos in Tampa, Florida.
That's so awesome.
And you should definitely come by Hawks, not just to get tattooed by me, but to check out the party.
Yep, check out everybody that works there, because the place is super righteous,
and
filled with a bunch of awesome art too.
Yeah, so Small Mike A Tattooer, Devin Bennett, D_effect on Instagram, Max Council, Joe Hawks.
I'll get everybody in there.
Yeah, we're gonna put everybody in the description down bottom.
In the description.
And
those dudes.
And in all reality, dude, thank you so much for coming to kick it with us.
Thank you for inviting me. Dude.
We're going to so the next season we're hoping to like go visit shops. So Hawks is on the list for us to go visit.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe like I want to.
That's exactly what I was just about to say. Like, don't be like we're gonna reach out and try and get you back on.
I want to figure out how to get like
back.
everybody kind of like if we. It's so tough to do that because there's so many moving parts, and I would need a trillion microphones. But like, you know, it'd be nice to just go sit down and hang out. And I want to do like shorter segments for YouTube.
If you guys had
a lot of fun.
the shop on a podcast, we'd
get canceled.
You would get canceled.
Okay.
Well,
actually,
first of all, we're clipping all your mics. The audio is gonna get way too fucking loud.
Why do you think we get everybody out of this shop?
Yeah. The audio is gonna be way too loud. The episode's gonna be way too long, and it's gonna be a lot of bullshit.
Yeah. So we'll figure it out. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah, I'm really stoked to come hang out and kick it up there. And I want to get tattooed, but we're gonna schedule my appointment before I leave.
Actually.
Yes.
And then
if you got Chaz's Panteras more flying around though,
right?
Those are made to order, but I can do that for sure.
That'd be sick. And then So thank you all for tuning in. I believe this is episode 11. If I'm wrong,
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
And you are
69.
This is episode 69.
Nice.
And we're out of here. Thank you for listening to the Tough Luck Tattoo Podcast.
Thank you for
Have a
coming.
good night, guys.